And we are live. Well, I am live. In the basement. We're doing a special edition of the Walkway to Fight Club podcast. We're doing a night. We're live on Facebook, our Facebook page, the Walkway to Fight Club, and also on YouTube. So we're doing something a little bit different tonight. So we're gonna have some fun. Where Top Rank is returning. Boxing is back. Top Rank has a card that's going on right now on ESPN. And find us on Facebook, facebook.com/The Walkway to Fight Club. Like the page, like the post, the whole kit, bang, and capoodle. Go to YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, just click the subscribe button, and bam, there you go. And you'll be all set up. Follow us on Twitter at Walkway Fight. And also find us on Instagram, Walkway to Fight Club. We're going to get right into it. Questions already. Leave your questions, leave your comments, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. Leave them on there. I promise they'll get answered. Daryl Rivera will be joining me in a little while. Tyler Moneybag McNeil Sr. First of all, Tyler, that name, I love it. Moneybag. Love it. Tell me where you got that from, because that nickname is awesome. The fights are in Las Vegas, and what is going on is Top Rank was able to secure the ballroom at the MGM Grand Garden Arena to where now for the time, at least through the first week of July, Top Rank is going to be airing shows every Tuesday and Thursday starting tonight. So 2 days a week for at least the next month, you're going to be seeing fights by Top Rank in Las Vegas. The card is headlined tonight by 126-pound champion Shakur Stevenson, one of the best boxers in the world. He'll be facing off against Felix Carballo. Stevenson making his debut at 130 pounds. But boxing is back, bigger, badder, stronger than ever. So we're going to be kind of just doing a watch along on the card. There are a couple fights in. You're showing Shakur Stevenson right now. He'll be fighting in a little while. We're going to be just kind of talking along with that fight. We're going to be talking UFC. A lot of UFC news today. Holy bejesus, my head is spinning with all the UFC news that went on today. We have Fight Island. We'll talk about Fight Island. They're going to be there the whole month of July, so we'll talk about that. A big heavyweight title fight between Stipe Miocic-Daniel Cormer 3. We'll be talking about that. We're going to get into a little pro wrestling, the Raw ratings. Some MLW news as MLW will be on DAZN. So we'll talk about what I know about that and everything else going on. Nate Diaz is in the news. Dana White fires back at Conor McGregor over McGregor's recent comments. A lot going on right now. So leave your questions, leave your comments here. Also, leave them here in the chat. We will answer them. Whether you're on Facebook, like the page, like the post. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, leave your questions and comments there. They will all get answered. We're going to be on here and that is my computer. I do apologize. We'll be on until the card ends. Daryl Rivera will be joining me in a little while here. So we're going to have a ton of fun this evening. I promise. Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of fun. Because there is a lot going on right now in the world of boxing. And then before we keep going, I want to tell everyone to be safe. And the weather is pretty wonky. I know out here I'm in southern Cook County, and we are under a severe thunderstorm watch until 8:30. I know there's been some tornadoes. Reportedly, there's been tornadoes touching down in Beecher. And I know they've been they're hovering around the area. So everyone, if you're in this area or you're in northern Illinois, be safe, stay safe, and stay healthy. But yeah, this has been, usually lately, since COVID-19 has been going on, and you had all the heavy news with everything going on, cards getting canceled, so on and so forth. This has been the biggest news day in a very, 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 very long time. And we got a fight right now. Johnny Langston is in the ring. He is 8-2. I don't know who he's taking. I don't know. I'm not going to lie here. Let's see. Against Johnny Anderson. Anderson, one of the big names at, really young heavyweight. One of this 4-0. A guy a lot of people are talking about. Top Rank is very keen on this guy. Jared Anderson. I take that back. I'm losing my mind here against Jerome Langston, but no, this is a big fight. It's a big fight here for Jared Anderson because he's 4-0. He's from Ohio. He's got a lot of hype around him. So he's got to come in. He's got to make a statement here. They're proclaiming this guy to be their next big heavyweight. Bob Arum is proclaiming this is the guy. This is the guy I see within a couple of years, fighting the big boys. And, he thinks he's going to be a future heavyweight champion. But just to have boxing back, and it's been a lot of, there's Johnny Langston, 30 years old, 6'1". Started his career 7-0, has been 1-2 since. So been a little bit he's 8-2 with 3 knockouts. But Jared Anderson, it's a 6-round fight. And, Top Rank's gotten criticized for this card. I get why. I'm not a big fan of that idea just because I think, money bags. It's from Toledo, Ohio. Awesome. A lot of good things from Toledo. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the biggest fan of Ohio. I'm not a big fan of Cleveland. Not a big fan of Columbus. But Toledo, the Toledo Mud Hens. Good little college football town there. Not too bad. But this is a good fight though for him. Because they're not giving him just hams. I forgot about Robert Easter. Former lightweight champion. Lost to Mikey Garcia in July of 2018. If my mind is serving me correct here. Yeah, July 2018 at the Staples Center. I was there. It was a great fight. Garcia knocked him down in the beginning part of the fight. I give Easter credit. I thought Easter fought very hard in the latter part of the fight. And Mikey won the fight, but that was a fight to where, I learned a little bit more about Robert Easter, and he's very tough. He's very gritty. And I think we'll see Robert Easter back. He's still a guy you need to watch out for at 135. This is good to see, and they're doing it in front of no fans. I give Top Rank credit. Top Rank is really I thought, followed very well the protocols by Nevada. Gone above and beyond. They've had a bubble. They are going above and beyond with their protocol. So I got to give Top Rank here a ton of credit. They got it. Especially in a situation like this, because you look at Michaela Mayer, she was supposed to be in the co-main event of the show. She came down with COVID-19. It was early in the week, so at the end of last week. So she got pulled from the card. She's asymptomatic, so she's doing okay. Her trainer also trained Shakur Stevenson. He tested negative, but was not allowed to be. He had to go into I don't know, you call it hibernation, whatever you want to call it. So very, very intriguing here. So, and I give Nevada credit to where the UFC didn't do that with Ian Heinisch this past weekend. His corner man had tested positive. They were going to pull Heinisch from the fight and the team. They were going to put him in a bubble. And then it was somehow magically a test came back that day. And after not knowing this for 2 days, mind you, and then we had that. And then, it was a false positive. Something doesn't smell right to me in that situation. I've asked. I've been told I'm crazy. I'm playing too much conspiracy theory. But that's just me. Something just doesn't to me smell right in that situation. Oh, beautiful right hand by Jared Anderson. Wow. It's a straight right hand. It's a straight right hand right down the pipe. Good work to the body. Very good work to the body. And that's the one thing, young guys don't work on enough in the sport is to where they're all looking for the knockouts. There's two simple things in the world in boxing. Pump the jab, work the body. You work the jab, work the body, the power shots will eventually come. They will be there. It may take some time, but they will eventually get there. And I like what Jared Anderson's doing here. Just kind of pumping the jab out. He's coming in, he's landing some power shots, and he's smothering. And that's the one thing you guys they don't work on too. It's just, I'm going to look for a knockout. He's trying to press. Man, I hate when guys complain. That's not the world's biggest fan of people complaining. Okay, crap happens, man. Let's just kind of, but who am I? But no, But good to see boxing back. No fans in the crowd, obviously. It's going to be like that for a while with boxing. So for everyone thinking, oh, boxing is going to not do that. No, boxing is not going that route. But no, and Tyler McCreary, I forgot about him too. That's a name I haven't heard of in a while. Moneybag McNeil Sr., I like you, my friend. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate a couple of the comments, a couple of the questions. Thank you so much, sir. Definitely appreciate it. UFC commercial. I'm sitting here watching now, and I've harped on this, and I've gotten criticized for this. The main event of Saturday's UFC, and they're airing the commercial now. This is the worst UFC main event in I don't know how long. At least 5 years. Jessica Ai and Cynthia Carvalho in a women's flyweight fight. Now, Langston here, what Langston needs to do, keep his butt off the ropes. What they're showing. And that's the one thing he's got to do. Press the action. He got walked down for 3 minutes. It was a one-way traffic there for 3 minutes by Jared Anderson. There you go. There you go. There you go, Langston. Joel Langston finally he woke up to the party. He needed 3 minutes and a butt chewing out from his corner. That's all. Hey, why don't you start fighting, kid? But no, so far so good here. No, not bad. But a lot going on though today. The UFC news. We'll start with pro wrestling. I thought this was really kind of the WWE's you hit over 1.757 million viewers, and everyone's blaming Charlotte Flair. How much is Charlotte Flair really to blame for that horrible rating? Yeah, she was on at the beginning, on in the middle. She's on at the end, and they were talking a lot about it during the show. I don't know how much I really want to put the onus on Charlotte Flair there. Ratings have just been down in there. I think I blame Charlotte Flair a little bit because I think she's getting shoved down people's throats. And you can blame her, but you can blame. I think I blame the product more. Good little action here by both guys here. Langston coming back a little bit. Anderson a little sloppy with his hooks. I've noticed kind of just lazily throws an uppercut in a hook. See, both guys are already tired. If I'm Jared Anderson and I'm his team, I'm not very happy the fact that I've controlled this fight. We're near the end of the second round. And this is what Jared Anderson needs to do. Keep him against the ropes, work the body. Because now the power shots are there. Because now Langston's thinking about, okay, he's trying to rip the body, and now he's going to come upstairs. So a good round for Jared Anderson, but definitely a cause for concern because there's no reason why Jared Anderson shouldn't have put him away already. Now, this is the round where I think Jared Anderson needs to put him away in the third round. I think that'll be quite interesting. But for everyone coming in, thank you. Walkway to Fight Club special edition today. Boxing is back. Top Rank presenting a card. The first boxing card in over 3 months. The last card was on March 7th. PBC presented a card. Robert Helenius upset Adam Kwanaki. So boxing is back. Top Rank. They're going to be doing shows every Tuesday and Thursday. From now, for at least the next 4 or 5 weeks, from a ballroom at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. No fans are allowed. So it's kind of a situation where this is the Top Rank's like the guinea pig in this situation. And everyone's popping in. We're getting on. People are watching, bouncing back and forth here. Like the Facebook page, like the post. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, and even if you're on Facebook, go to our YouTube page. Just search The Walkway to Fight Club. Subscribe. Got tons of awesome videos. So definitely, you guys, make sure go in and do that. The third round is underway. And there you go. The jab. The kid is learning. Very, very good for Jared Anderson. And that's what he's got to do. The jab and shots to the body. And I said that earlier. You do that, you're going to do some good work. And you can tell Langston's getting a little bit agitated. But no, Top Rank's more of the guinea pig here because, again, a look at DAZN's thinking about July, August. Golden Boy's really trying to push DAZN for a July 4th fight with Ryan Garcia. If I'm DAZN, and I'm not employed by DAZN right now, so I can kind of go speak my piece, and I speak my piece to begin with. If everyone knows who I am by this point, if I'm DAZN, why not? Ryan Garcia, one of the biggest stars in the sport. It seems pretty simple enough to go that route. Sorry, I just put my camera down again. But no, if I'm DAZN, that's the route I go. Because Canelo's not going to fight till September. Garcia wants to fight. Golden Boy wants to make a fight. Why not? He's one of the biggest subscription movers. Garcia is one of the rising stars in the sport. The social media darling at this point. So if I'm Golden Boy, DAZN's trying for July, August. Matchroom's coming back in July. PBC, I'm hearing late July, beginning of August. One fight they already have, it seems like it's going to happen sometime in September. Errol Spence and Danny Garcia for the WBC and IBF welterweight titles. Eek. If you're me, it's an eek. I'm not a fan of Danny Garcia getting a high-profile fight, but that is just me, and that is my honest opinion. And I want to say again, I know there's some bad weather going around here. I know anyone that lives in Illinois and is watching and kind of bouncing in and out here, just stay safe. If you need to, get in your basement. I came down with my family pretty early. It was getting pretty nasty. The winds were unbelievable. And a good win, a good stoppage win here for Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson gets it done, runs his record to 5-0. But what did I say? This was the round he was going to get it done. He had to get it done. He didn't look too good near the end of the second. Kind of near after that minute mark. He had about a bad 30 seconds. Representing Ohio, my and JJ Muehlhausen. Yes, from Toledo, Ohio. Representing. Everyone watching boxing time. And people are craving sports. I wasn't going to do this. And I'm like, you know what? I cover this for a living. I'm going to be back in the game soon. And this is a big monumental moment here. Everything going on in the world. You got millions. You got almost 2 million people worldwide with this. And you have, I know just in the United States, almost around 110,000 people have died. So it's like, there hasn't been sports on. A lot of classic stuff's been going on. We haven't seen, UFC's been back for a bit. WWE, AEW, pro wrestling's been doing their thing. And boxes is the first event, and let's see how. And this is what Anderson did to finish. I thought Jared Anderson did a very good job here in the way he finished the fight, how he started the fight. Consistent pressure and just beating Langston up. I thought that was very huge. Body shots. That's the biggest key. All young guys out there. Pound the body. And again, Langston couldn't take him. Young guys don't do that enough. That's the biggest issue with boxers, with young guys. Everyone's looking, I got to win by KO. No. Body shots, jab, pop, 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 pop. Nice job there by Jared Anderson representing Toledo, Ohio very, very well. Not many good things coming out of the sports land of Ohio these days. The Indians suck. The Browns, I thought the Browns were going to do it. I was vastly disappointed with that. And let's see, what else is in Ohio? The Blue Jackets. I'm sorry, Cleveland. Columbus. I am so sorry. Got the Toledo Mud Hens, minor league baseball, New York Yankees. It's like the biggest claim to fame. But man, good for Jared Anderson. I think Jared Anderson's got something. I don't know what something is yet, but he's a prospect. He's a guy. We could be talking about him. I forgot about the Ohio State Buckeyes. Professional sports, JJ. Professional sports. But Ohio State basically, I think, could beat, in a lot of years, they could have beat the Cleveland Browns. Just my opinion. I'm sorry, everybody. Not sorry. But, no, good job there by Jared Anderson. Good stoppage. Because you look at the heavyweight division at this point. You got Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua leading the pack. You got Deontay Wilder. You got Andy Ruiz. You got Dillian White. You got Alexander Povetkin. You had Kwanaki, and then that kind of went down. We're going to see if him and Hellenius meet back up. You got Jarrell Miller going to be making his return. I want to see what Jarrell Miller is going to do. You got Kupak Pulev. He'll be facing Anthony Joshua sometime soon. So we'll see. God, I got to learn how to spell. This is the one thing when you're trying to like type. I got very big thumbs. So when I'm trying to type something, it comes out in like nowhere near to what I want to type. That sucks. Let's see. Okay, no, that's perfect. There we go. But no, it's just good to have, the heavyweight division is so deep, right? Because you could look at what's going on. You got Fury Wilder going to meet. They're going to meet again. They're contractually obligated to meet in the trilogy fight. It's just a matter of, we keep hearing different dates. It was scheduled for July 18th, and then everything with COVID-19, that kind of went down the tubes. And now you're looking at, it was talked about October. I think it was October 3rd. That's no longer possible. Then we're hearing maybe December. They're hoping for fans by that point. I wouldn't be deathly surprised if we do not get that to like early first quarter next year. This is such an unknown, because you don't know if fans are going to, the states are going to be allowing fans to re-enter the arenas. I think that's right now the biggest thing is the unknown of fans. Because you look at pro wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling announced yesterday that last night they're going to be returning with a show on July 15th, and then they're going to have the New Japan Cup from June 16th through July 11th. And then the finals will be at Osaka-jo Hall in Osaka, Japan. And then the following night will be Dominion on July 12th. And Tetsuya Naito will be defending the IWGP and the Intercontinental title and they're against the winner of the New Japan Cup. But they're going to be allowing 33% capacity. From what I'm told, it is around 4,000 people. So they're going to could be beating WWE, because I haven't heard a concrete date on when WWE is going to, in AEW, are going to be allowing fans into the arena. So, like, you look back into boxing, it's like you want to have like all these big fights, like Anthony Joshua, guys like Joshua, Canelo, Lomachenko, got Terrence Crawford, Gervonta Davis, guys that sell a lot of tickets. Tyson Fury, Wilder. That fights that with fans it's going to sell a lot of tickets. Like, look at Fury Wilder too, did like a $17 million gate. Anthony Joshua minimum is between a minimum a $10 million gate. The same thing with Canelo, around $10 million, the same thing for Canelo Alvarez. So I'd be shocked if you see a lot of those guys back and girls back, and Clarissa Shields is another, on the women's side. So it's like, it's really hard to determine if and when we're going to have fans in the arena. Terrence Crawford's made it abundantly clear, I'm not fighting without fans because I want to get fully paid. Bob Arum's like, okay, I'll keep chucking out shows. And this is where my mind gets kind of, and I've always been of the mindset of, I don't understand, like, the boxing pay structure is so messed up. But then you look on the other hand, and it's like, you know what? These athletes are putting their lives on the line. You look at like what's going on with Major League Baseball. And the players are like, they're taking a stand. They're putting their foot down and wait a minute. We already took one pay cut. Why should I have to go take another one? Open your books. How much are you? Because you got a bunch of billionaires. And when you got billionaires coming in, and you got billionaires saying, oh, we're hurting, we're going to be losing $640,000 a game. And all the players are looking for is, hey, open your books. Okay, we understand there's going to be no fans for a while. Cool. Fair enough. But show us how you're losing money. How are billionaires? Because you're still getting all that mumbo-jumbo money from the TV networks. And we're joined by the man, the myth, the legend. He promised me yesterday that he would be wearing a new hat for every podcast, and he is not lying. The second sexiest man on this podcast this evening, the one and only, my favorite boy from Puerto Rico, my man Daryl Rivera. DY, what's up, my man?
What's going on, man? What did I miss? What did I just walk into?
Jared Anderson here, looking mighty impressive over Jerome Langston, third round TKO win.
I did manage to get to the end of that. As I was walking in, I turned on the TV, and I managed to get the end of the fight.
Our fans here are great followers here. Letting me know, I forgot I couldn't remember where he was from Ohio, but my man Tyler Moneybag McNeil Sr., the Moneybag, that's a great nickname, by the way, and I gave him props for that, from Toledo, Ohio. So we were talking about that, and a good third round TKO. And I was saying, I want to get your opinion on this before we'll harp back to this. When young fighters, and I know, and I was saying this, I was preaching this and watching the fight. Not enough. Too many young guys are just always looking for the knockout. They're just looking to knock their block off. They're not looking to set up their shots to get to that point. To me, it should be go to the rip the body, jab, 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 bam. Because then that shot's going to be there at that point.
Yeah.
And that's what Jared Anderson did. He was walking Langston down, getting him against him, walking him down, ripping the body, then going upstairs, would come out, pop the jab, body, go back upstairs. And that's what he did, how he finished him off and got the TKO win.
And that's the difference.
Are you a fan of that method? Am I wrong on that, or what do you make of that?
No, that's the blueprint to boxing. You always go to the body until the head gets exposed. That's how it goes. Tito Trinidad, who I know I talk a lot about him, but he was one of those guys that would always constantly go for the knockout. That's why he always got knocked down in the early rounds, always. And then he started working more head first, then the body, and he would get a lot of his knockouts by the body. So it's not whether you go body first, then head. It's mainly like you gotta centralize somewhere and then take advantage, create an opening for you. Don't just go balls to the wall every fight or every round, because you're going to be exhausted by the fourth round and you're going to get TKO'd by a veteran. It's going to happen. When you're a young guy, you want to open those opportunities up. When you go constantly to the head, it opens up the body. A good jab to the ribs can go as far as a good jab to the chin.
And exactly, that's like the thing. I just wish more people would understand that. And everyone's jumping in. This is kind of bouncing up and down here. Thank you guys, everyone, for watching, leaving comments, like us on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, or you're not, even if you're watching live, we're live on YouTube, live on Facebook, or watching YouTube page, just search Walkway to Fight Club, facebook.com/Walkway to Fight Club. Like the page, also like the post. We're also on YouTube. Just hit that subscribe button, leave questions, leave comments. Tons of great stuff on YouTube. We're on Twitter at Walkway Fight, and we're also on Instagram, Walkway to Fight Club in lowercase letters. Andrew Hensel, what's up, boys? Sugar Sean, I love me, Sugar Sean O'Malley. And Andrew Hensel has got a nickname for me, and I think I like this one. If I'm going to have a fight name, I think I'm going with this one. Sugar Steve Muehlhausen. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I love it. Boom, boom. Shake the room, Mr. Hensel. He is right.
I think Sugar Ray Leonard will have something to say about that, but
hey, you know what? SUGA. And they're showing right now the Michaela Mayer, the Helen Joseph fight that was supposed to be the co-feature, was canceled, postponed due to Michaela Mayer coming down with COVID-19, and hopefully Michaela Mayer is okay, and she's on right now. I'm talking to Joe Tessitore, and this is kind of what, and I want to see her. She's awesome. I will say that I want to see her in some big time fights. I got why she was going to take this fight. And I want to see her get in that mix get up to, the Katie Taylors, the Amanda Serranos, maybe the Jessica McCaskills, start facing that upper echelon, in women's boxing. And you got the bigger weights, Cecilia Brakis, you got Clarissa Shields, and you got that whole gang of bandits up there, and that whole big crew. So But that was unfortunate. Thankfully, in Shakur Stevenson warming up. Now that is coming up in a little bit. Shakur Stevenson, Felix Carballo, the main event of the evening. And we'll get into the pay structure of that card. Holy cow. We will get into it. People want to bash the UFC's pay structure. Wait till we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But kind of what we were when you were coming on here, Daryl, is the thing about, right now with fans in attendance, New Japan's going to be going at 33% capacity starting in the beginning, for the finals in New Japan Cup, and then for Dominion on the following day with Naito against the winner of the New Japan Cup. And talking about how right now UFC doesn't have fans in attendance, and the plan right now with the major sports is there's going to be no fans for a while. So kind of like it's going to be New Japan's going to be more or less the guinea pig, it seems like here.
Yeah.
And with athletes not coming back, especially when I'm talking about baseball, and where the owners are saying, well, and how like these boxers are sitting out, because there's no fans in attendance. You look at the big draws, Joshua, Canelo, they're minimum $10 million gates. Guys that also draw really well, like Terrence Crawford, Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, guys like that are starting to become big. That are either already big ticket attractions or on that path to getting there. Right now, the promoters are like, and the UFC saying this, even though the UFC is going to make $750 million in revenue this year, but I guess we have to put fights on an island, and we have to bring guys to construct an island. I guess we can't pay the fighters, so we'll talk about that more because that's a ton of news today. But you got the baseball owners saying, well, we're going to be losing $640,000 a game by not having fans in the stadiums. I mean, the athletes are putting their foots down here. They're saying no mas. We already took one pay cut. We're not doing that. Terrence Crawford's already made declared Bob Arum. I'm not taking no pay cut without fans in the arena. I want to get paid. My shelf life is that small. When you hear in baseball, and you hear guys like Crawford, and Anthony Joshua said he's open to fighting. So Canelo has said, sources have said, and I've been told the same thing. Sources around Canelo have said Canelo's willing to do it. Golden Boys came out and said the same thing. If you're these big name athletes, I'll even throw McGregor in here because I think this is kind of where McGregor. I don't think McGregor don't care, but I think this is UFC's big thing. If you're the athletes, should they care about performing in front of fans, or do the athletes have a point and be like, you know what, we're not going to play, we're not going to compete? Are you on the side of the athlete in that situation, or are you more on the side of promoter / owner?
I'm on the side of athletes because the big thing is sports aren't sports without athletes. You could say the same about fans. You could say the same, athletes worked hard to get that paycheck. An athlete getting a big monster payday is rare in any sport, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, boxing, MMA, especially the latter two. You can get a payday in boxing, you get knocked out, it's gone. When a fighter of the caliber of like Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, McGregor, like big names like that, they have to get paid. You get what you paid for, and you're going to get entertainment. You're going to get pay-per-view buys. So whenever I see like owners, saying, oh, we're going to lose a lot of money, tough shit. That comes with owning a team. Nobody can predict a pandemic, but you're not going to force players to lose money that they earned because you don't want to pay them what you agreed to in the beginning. Given it's a pandemic, we don't know what it is, but at the same time, it's not the players' fault. It's not like the players are deciding, hey, like this whole thing is going to change just because of, I don't want to fight because I don't want to get paid. They do want to play. They do want to fight. They just don't. And this is in baseball's example. They agreed to a prorated amount, to a certain amount of games. They agreed to that before this whole, talk started, the whole negotiation thing. And then the owners backtracked, realized, hey, we're going to lose money here. Owners apparently can't lose money. God forbid they ever lose money. God forbid. As if they I can't lose $1,000 when I'm worth fucking 2 billion, whatever the case may be. And I just sat in a meeting for an hour. I'm all loose cannons right now. I don't care. This is something players play. They work their ass off for 10 plus years to finally get a payday. And now you're going to take that away and they agreed to a prorated amount. And now, since it's not convenient for you, you're going to take it away for them. That's not how it works. And I'm glad to see the players taking a stand. Like, I'm sad that there's no baseball on TV right now because I love baseball. But at the same time, I will never fault an athlete for trying to get paid, trying to get their dues. Comes very rarely, and I will never blame you for trying to do it.
No, you can't. And I've always been on that same thing of being pro athlete, and and it's just because of the fact that these guys, like we were saying, they work their tails off. And I'm not saying the owners and the promoters don't work hard. I want to make that perfectly clear because they do work hard. I know firsthand with DAZN. I know how hard those guys work over there, and I watch Eddie Hearn work and Oscar De La Hoya. I've seen those guys in the meat grinder, and they work extremely hard. But at the end of the day, it's the athlete. I got to get rid of that. I keep calling myself Sugar Steve.
Sugar Steve.
But it's a thing where the athletes are the ones, especially in this situation. And you look at like Michaela Mayer, you look at Jacare Souza and his team, and you look at Shakur Stevenson. This affects Shakur Stevenson because his trainer also trains Michaela Mayer as part of her team. And he couldn't be allowed to be with Shakur Stevenson tonight. So you got to think of this also affects Shakur Stevenson. And just, it affects, the fighters are the ones putting themselves on the line here. They're taking all the risk. They're putting their livelihood on the line. And I don't think they're getting enough credit for that. I think if you own an organization or run an organization, own a team, and you're trying to cry poor, what were you doing with your money to begin with? I get some of that money is through loans and equity, and I get the business of how that works. But you didn't do it for your whole net, your whole worth, or your fortune, or whatever, however you have your money. So I don't want to hear it. I will always be pro athlete. That will never change. And I agree with you on that 100%. And I'm watching these highlights here of Shakur Stevenson. He's dirty. He's awesome. 13-0, 7 knockouts. The WBO 126-pound champion. What do you make? Because the main event seems like it's going to begin here, probably at the top of the hour.
Yeah.
Him going to 130 for this fight. Because he's been saying, okay, I've been training the whole time. Why not? And I get you're not going to face Josh Warrington. That's the fight everyone wants to see at 126. That's the biggest fight out there. Warrington can't get here because he's in the UK. Stevenson's willing to go there. Why not just fight another contender instead of going up to 130 and taking on a nobody? No offense to Caballo. No offense at all. Good record. I like Shakur Stevenson's shirt too, by the way. Black Lives Matter. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yes, Puerto Rico. I know, but I know. We'll talk about Puerto Rico. But no, I love that. I love that shirt with Shakur Stevenson. Absolutely awesome. Black Lives Matter. Absolutely fantastic. And it looks like his team's got, I can't see his team, but yeah, I see George to train. One of the trainers I see a picture of George Floyd. It looks like Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor and Amada Arbeer is third person on there.
Okay. But no, that's awesome. Absolutely fantastic. But do you take a fight? I don't want to interrupt you, and I apologize for that.
No, you're good.
Do you like the route Stevenson's taking here in taking a fight at 130? Because he wants to remain at 130. Would you have made just an optional title defense? Or do you think going up to 130 is a good move? You know it's against a nobody and the guy he's going to plow through. Do you think it was a good idea for him to do this just to kind of test the waters, see how the weight cut would go? And then after this fight, let's see if the Warrington fight will be there after that.
Yes, because it's not a scenario where, and I hate saying this, like he's more than likely going to plow through Carvalho. Like it's.
Oh, let's just be honest.
I hate saying it because of the hat I'm wearing, but it's like, man.
No favoritism here. I see enough of that in combat sports.
That's fine. But
keep it real.
Keeping it real, Shakur Stevenson, I think it was a good idea for him just because if he wants to stay at 130, and I know a lot of people are seeing like 126 to 130, that's 4 pounds. I'm like, yeah, but it's a big difference. It's a very big difference. God. And
go ahead. I got a story for you in a minute about boxing weight cutting. Keep going, though. Keep going.
Shakur Stevenson, like, it's a good idea for him just because he wants to test the waters. He's fighting, like, it's not like Felix Caraballo's not a nobody. He has 13-1 record. He hasn't faced anybody, but the record is respectable. The biggest thing for Shakur Stevenson here is he wants to move up in weight. Why not test it on the first card back from boxing? You had all this time off. You got ready. Now you know exactly what you had to put yourself through to get to that 130 mark. And I think it fits him better. His style of boxing at 130 fits him a lot better. So the fact that he's jumping up for this fight, as opposed to, an optional title defense, I'm all for it. Optional title defense right now, you have to cut weight, especially after a quarantine. It's not easy to cut weight after a quarantine coming back. You'd rather be at the weight, 130. You'd rather be a little heavier than to have to cut those 4 pounds at the last minute and do the title defense. That exposes you a little bit. Being at the 130 mark, where you want to be, you want to test the waters, with Caraballo, a 13-1-2 fighter, 9 KOs. That's not a bad record. But at the same time, you want to establish your dominance, especially with a guy like that. You want to plow through him, say, hey, I'm Shakur Stevenson. I'm here to stay at the 130 mark. Come at me.
No, I agree with that 100. No, that's a very great assessment. And weight cutting. And then you hit it on the head. I remember it was when Tank Davis fought Francisco Fonseca. He was supposed to be the co-main of Mayweather-McGregor. And McGregor and Mayweather weighed in, and Davis didn't weigh in. Fonseca had weighed in. Everyone's like, well, where's Tank? He was struggling. And I mean struggling. I was shown a video, and I watched the video. My God, he was shaking. He looked gaunt. He looked awful. Look at even though he still couldn't make 135. And it took him a minute to make 135. But that's 5 pounds. These guys struggle. Guys and girls, even in MMA, they struggle. I've seen plenty of jaunt fighters in my day. And watching them cut weight, what these athletes put themselves through. They put themselves through the torture chamber. Sorry to disappoint people. But people got to understand that these fighters they risk a lot to entertain. And for anyone that says they are vastly underpaid, needs to either A, stop watching, or B, get a clue. Maybe people need to do both. But before we keep going, let's see. We do have a question from Andrew Hensel. Steve, you see Dan Le Batard is going to fight Dana White. I have tried to avoid talking about this. I was asked this on my media. I did a little mini media tour yesterday. And I was asked this every time, and I wanted to bang my head into the wall. I am going to say yes. I wouldn't mind seeing Dana White these days get a beating. I shouldn't say that, but I'm being brutal. The way Dana White is handling everything these days, I wouldn't mind seeing that just because you can see how ticked off Le Batard is. So pro fighters, friends with Jorge Masvidal. Masvidal says he's going to train him, which I think is fantastic. But
outside interference, Masvidal comes in and chokes him out.
All right. But no, he's extremely mad. He's extremely upset. And because he feels fighters should get their just due, and they should get paid. And Dana's willing to put up $250,000. They were on Le Batard's podcast last week, and Le Batard challenged him. Like, it was like, what do you think? It was either him or his co-host. They're like, should you fight? Da, da, da. Dana was like, oh yeah. And then Dana came out, did an interview with ESPN, like, I'll put up $250,000. Le Batard responds with Blammy Jones and calls him cheap. And I'm not one of these fighters you can try to screw over, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to have Jorge Masvidal. And you know what? I want to see it. I would be willing to pay for it. I would spend the $65.
Whoa.
Yes, I would.
Big spender over here. I would come over to watch it. I don't even have to, video chat.
You should see my checking account.
Unemployment treating you well?
Unemployment treating me very well. Big things are popping. But it's a situation where I want to see it. I think it'd be fun. Especially if the money's going to charity, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with studying the idea. I'm down for the cause. Absolutely. 100%. No, that's a good question, though. Yeah. It's a question that keeps getting brought up to my attention. People are popping in there. So, now, do you want to see it?
Of course.
I was asking the question, but I'll toss it to you. Do you want to? Who do you think would win? That should be the question. I want to see Le Batard win.
I want to see Le Batard win. I just don't see Dana White being around the game so long and just going into an octagon and just getting dominated at the sport that he promotes so well. Like, you would think he has some sort of skill.
Oh yeah. I think now everyone popping in and out here. Answer that, and we're leaving. Okay, right? That was from Aunt JJ in Ohio. Well, I'm gonna leave this question up. People answer the question here. Do you want to see Dan Le Batard fight Dana White? Put yes or no. And who do you think would win? As the main event will be beginning in moments. Shakur Stevenson, Felix Rayo,
La Sombra.
Sam. Yeah. If Dana lost it, it would be embarrassing for the UFC. What do you think of that one, Daryl? That's a good comment. I'll show that one.
It's like I said, it's the guy that's been promoting all the fights. He's been taking all the money. He's not paying the fighters enough, and he gets his ass kicked. That should tell you a lot. They should have a stipulation. Dan Le Batard versus Dana White. Dana White loses, he has to pay the fighters more. Or he releases all four of them and they can go wherever the hell they want. No questions asked. Book it.
Wow.
I got my booking cap.
Wow.
Honestly, it's a good point because, like I said, he's the guy promoting. When you think UFC, Dana White is the Vince McMahon of UFC. He made it what it is today. It's like saying Vince McMahon's, gets in a square circle with, and this is just because he posted a video. The guy from HBO, the one that posted
Steven Espinosa?
No. The reporter that posted about the fighters or the wrestlers not having a union.
John Oliver.
It's like saying
HBO. Don't discourage John. I like Showtime. I got a lot of friends at Showtime, but don't beat down HBO. Those guys at HBO are awesome.
I did say HBO.
You said Showtime.
Oh, that's my bad. My bad.
Don't disrespect the great Peter Nelson.
My bad.
Patrick Byrne, who leads the PR team over there. Patrick, I miss you, buddy. I don't miss Peter Nelson very much because I think Peter Nelson brought down boxing, but that's for another day. But
it's fair. But John Oliver was Vince McMahon in wrestling. Vince McMahon gets his ass kicked. Wouldn't that be embarrassing? Oscar De La Hoya fights some nobody from the street, gets his ass kicked. Would that be embarrassing for the sport of boxing? That's the point. Dana White loses as much as he built this. It would be embarrassing for a celebrity, even though the celebrity is I'm on his side, because yes, Dana White needs an ass kicking. It would still be a little bit embarrassing for the UFC.
It would be very embarrassing for the UFC if that happened. Holy cow! It's a fight Dana White should win and Dana White should win without a problem. Shakur Stevenson is in the ring. We're going to be
Mambasita mentality on this vest.
I like it. That's look at this is the confidence in Shakur Stevenson. Love it.
He's a superstar in the making, and he knows it.
Oh,
that's the confidence you got to have. Been getting compared to Mayweather all card.
What do you make of that comparison?
It's a wait and see. Mayweather was brought up in a very similar, like they were both Olympians. They were both like, they have similar styles. They have similar, hopefully, career trajectories. But it depends on his booking. We got to see who he fights. We got to see. Because Mayweather, the biggest thing with Mayweather is like everybody's saying, arguably the greatest of all time, and I agree. But he ducked a lot of fighters. That hurts him in my book. Hopefully, Shakur Stevenson, he's 22 years old. He's young. He's cocky. He's confident. He will go against anybody. If he does that in my book, I can see his comparisons maybe even more than Mayweather ever was.
Okay.
It's a superstar in the making, man.
Okay.
Unless he gets knocked out by Caraballo tonight.
What would you make it? How disappointing would that be?
I mean, who knows? A kid always needs a good knockout before a redemption tour.
Look at Caraballo, though. Yeah, he's 13-1-2. He's only got 2 knockouts, but he's won 3 of his last 5. He's 3 stoppages in his last 5 fights. So you kind of got something going. Look at Stevenson, 22 years old. Won his only championship fight, silver medalist in the 2016 Olympics at 123. The oldest of 9 children, 6 brothers and 2 sisters. I had my oldest son asked me the other day. He just tells me the other day, says, Dada, I want you and mommy to have more babies. I'm like, I was taken aback. I'm like, why? And then he goes to me. He's like, do you have any brothers and sisters? Do you have any brothers, Dada? And I'm like, no. He's like, did you wish you did? And I'm like, no, not a chance. Maybe that makes me shallow.
I'm the oldest of 8. Tell him from my end, no more. Like Rivera Duran.
You're the
no
oldest. Wow. Oh, I did not know this. You've never told me that. I knew you had siblings, and the action is underway for people watching. Stevenson, look at Caballo coming right out. Daryl, it could happen. And look at the pay structure here. Shakur Stevenson getting paid and this is from the Nevada State Athletic Commission, $400,000. Caballo, $50,000.
Jesus Christ!
Wow.
Hey, $50,000 can get you a lot in Puerto Rico, though.
What can $50,000? And then see, I don't know, and you know this better than I do, and you just brought it up. What is life like? Because I know they got really ravaged by the hurricanes. How is Puerto Rico these days?
Puerto Rico's good. I mean, Puerto Rico's always, regardless of what's happening, it's always good to live in. Like it's a very welcoming environment at all times because you know everybody. Like I was born and raised in a small town. Everybody knew who my dad was. Everybody referred to me as Estebancito Jr., even though my name was nowhere near his name. But
that's awesome.
Would I ever live there permanently? No, because my career does not do well over there in both insurance and media. Oh, wow. But it's something that it depends on what you do. But living in Puerto Rico, I've always found that as a kid, especially, it was great because sports are great. Everything is fantastic. Like baseball in Puerto Rico, oof, talk about competitive. This is awesome.
But baseball too. Absolutely.
Yeah, boxing. Like people right now be in everybody's garage watching Caraballo fight, even though they know, hey, he might lose. Let's go still watch it. It's boxing. You get that sense of community in Puerto Rico.
Now, what is more popular these days in Puerto Rico, boxing or baseball?
Baseball. Ever since Cotto retired, we haven't had, like, we have the Caraballos of the world and, here and there, but we haven't had a superstar in Puerto Rico that can, stop an island on a Saturday night to go watch the fight. Like
We have
right now.
Go ahead. A knockdown. First knockdown of the fight. We got about 30 seconds left in the round. Carballo went to the mat. And Carballo laughed when Tony Weeks called it a knockdown. And Carballo looks like he's going to survive the round here. Hopefully, for his sake. Maybe we don't get that upset, Daryl. I don't know. It's not looking good here for your guy.
Yeah,
but I will root for Puerto Rico.
I root more for Puerto Rico in baseball and everything, man. World Baseball Classic is delayed, which made me sad. Though.
Really?
Yeah. It was supposed to take place 2021. They already suspended it.
You're going to lose anyway. It's not like Puerto Rico's going to beat the United States. Let's just be honest.
All I'm saying is at least 5 of the players in the starting lineups for the USA team are Puerto Rican, including the starting pitcher.
Okay.
Just saying. Just throwing that out there. Fun fact.
Look at you.
If you want to know who, Marcus Stroman was the starting pitcher. He has a Puerto Rican flag tattooed on his forearm. That dude, right there. Nolan Arenado. Arenado's Puerto Rican.
You just named 2 guys that I'd like to see in the White Sox uniform. It's the second round that's about to begin.
No, dude.
Look at this first round. 22 of 60 for Shakur Stevenson. 3 of 34 for Carballo. That's not good. Doing that is not going to win you a ton of fights. 3 of 30.
But at the same time, it's looking good for Stevenson.
Knocked him down with the right hook. Carballo went to a knee. That was at the knockdown in the first. Now you see body shots. What did we talk about when you came on with the Jared Anderson fight? These young guys throw to the body. Stevenson looking good here. Not missing a beat at all. Going right to the body, throwing a jab. And that's all you got to do. Stay active. These guys, in a situation like this is a showcase fight for Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah. Because
a big win for him. Big audience. We're going to see how this is going to work. And we talked about ratings. And we'll find out tomorrow what the ratings will be. But I'm very intrigued on what the ratings are going to be for this particular show. And talking about ratings, holy cow. The Raw-ish Charlotte show. It was actually up. People want to see Charlotte Flair. 1.74, average 1.74 million viewers, up 9,000 whopping viewers from last week, making it the 4th lowest in the modern history of the show. Good news, though, for Raw. They were up 8%, the key 18 to 49 demographic with a 0.53. They tied for 3rd place in the demo since new shows were at a much lower level than last week. Overall, Raw was 23rd on cable and 4th among the non-news shows. So good news for Raw there. A little more bad news. Year over year down 18.3%. But that show also went head to head with an NBA playoff game that did 18.22 million viewers. First, the 3rd hour drop was 15% with women, 18 to 49, 14% for men, 18 to 49, 32% with teenage girls, while teenage boys increased 4% from hour 1 to 3, and over 50 dropped 9%. 1.83 million viewers for the first hour, 1.79 million for the second hour, and the final hour, the 10 p.m. hour, 1.60 million viewers. So the Charlotte Flair show up 9,000. Hey, we want more Charlotte Flair, baby. No. We want Charlotte. Dun, 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 dun. I want Charlotte.
On vacation. Dun, 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 dun. We seriously need a break from the 4 horsewomen, man. Build some new stars. You keep one of these days, and God forbid, what if someone gets hurt? Sasha Banks has her fair share of injuries. Bayley's a heel. Charlotte's a heel, but Charlotte's been on the main face of the women's division for the last 5 years? We need something new. You killed Ember Moon's momentum when she came up. Rhea Ripley was squashed in Mania, and you can't tell me otherwise. Because she hasn't had the same momentum ever since. You're building Io Shirai in NXT. Asuka, don't even get me started on how they built her when she first came up. The way that they booked her when she first came up was good up until the end result. That was laughable. You had her be this unstoppable force, winning the Royal Rumble. First ever Royal Rumble. Gets overshadowed by Ronda Rousey. Like, move aside, lady. This is my time now. Asuka, sit down. The big girl's here. UFC champ Ronda Rousey's here. You're nothing. You just won the Royal Rumble, but you're nothing. Because I'm here now. It's just... And then they had her lose a Mania, which blew my mind. Killed all her momentum, and then she wasn't the same ever again.
Man, you're just very upset.
I am upset, man. Too much time at work.
It's okay. It's okay, man.
And we need the same sponsor as Amanda Nunes. So, Modelo?
Modelo, I'm no beer tonight for me. I am...
I didn't have beer last night, so I'm making up for that.
Look at you. Look at you. But now another... Steven. Now, see, this is what I don't want Shakur Stevenson doing. Don't keep yourself against the ropes.
Nope.
Not much good can happen in this situation. Just not a fan. Get the fight in the back in the center of the ring and go to work and regain control.
No.
I don't know why fighters do that. That just really kind of blows my mind away when you see that.
Kind of reminds me of Tyron Woodley not too long ago. Spent the entire fight in the cage, didn't win one round.
You brought up Tyron Woodley, and let's kind of get into that here. We're in the third round here. We got about halfway through the third. Stevenson well in control here. The UFC did announce today that Fight Island is a thing. Fight Island, it's finally going to happen. It'll be from starting July 11th through July 25th. The first card on July 11th, UFC 251. It's on Yas Island in Abu Dhabi. Headlined by 3 title fights. Kamaru Usman against Gilbert Burns for the welterweight title. Then a rematch. The co-feature is for the featherweight, a rematch for the featherweight title. Alexander Volkanovski looks to defend the title for the first time against former champion Max Holloway. And then for the vacant bantamweight title, Peter Yan against everyone's favorite new bantamweight fighter, former featherweight kingpin Jose Aldo Jr.
Is it Jose or Jose?
It's Jose. Everyone just says Jose, but it's Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo Jr. There's a lot to say. So the UFC will be doing cards on Fight Island, and we will get into it now. I have the press release right here, so give me just 1 second. I just want to make sure I get this right.
Also, I want to, while you're looking for that, shout out to Sam Diaz for sharing the post. Sam, thank you. He's a good friend of mine.
July, Sam, thank you for leaving a question, and thank you for watching. The third round has ended. We head into the fourth round. July 11th, Wednesday, July 15th, Saturday, July 18th, and Saturday, July 25th. A lot of controversy over this main event. Jorge Masvidal was offered the fight again last night. He flatly turned it down. They still couldn't agree on money. The UFC upped the offer a tad, but it was still less than what he got for the Nate Diaz fight. The UFC also offered the fight to Leon Edwards because of the travel restrictions in the UK. Leon Edwards had to turn down the fight. So Gilbert Burns is the third option here. Before we get into this whole brouhaha again, and then Nate Diaz gets into this conversation as well, what do you make of Gilbert Burns? Because we kind of ha-ha'd this last week when we did our watch-along. By the way, is done over 1,300 views, so thank you to everybody so much from YouTube, everyone watching, our highest show so far. And we're looking pretty good here. What do you make of Gilbert? And everyone watching, before we get into this whole situation, if you're watching on Facebook, watching on YouTube, we're live on both. like the Facebook page, like the post, like the page, follow us, do all that cool stuff. We greatly appreciate it. Leave all your questions and comments. Find us on YouTube if you're watching there. Just subscribe to the page. If you're not, just search The Walkway to Fight Club. We got a ton of cool videos. We got some cool stuff coming up this week. Actually, one cool thing tomorrow that Daryl does not even know about. So I am going to do that tomorrow. And then you can find us on Twitter at Walkway Fight. And then you can also find us on Instagram, Walkway to Fight Club, all in lowercase letters. What do you make?
How does the guy that's in charge of your Instagram not know about something you're doing tomorrow?
I'm going to tell you later. Oh my God. It's a secret. It's a secret. It's a special thing I'm putting up tomorrow.
All right.
Special thing. It's an interview I did a while ago, and we're going to put it on the YouTube channel. I'm going to put it up on the YouTube channel tomorrow morning.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm going to save it for later.
I'm going to have some fun with that one. But what do you make of Gilbert Burns being the third option here? And we're going to get Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns, the headline UFC 251, what is usually International Fight Week in the one of the UFC's biggest cards of year.
I mean, I don't hate it. I know we laughed at it last week, but that was when we still had the option of Masvidal, Edwards, Covington. You still had those options. Gilbert Burns, last week he dominated Tyron Woodley. He absolutely, won all 5 rounds, complete control of the entire fight. Does that, put you over all 3 of those? No. But when I first saw this, I'm like, why wasn't this fight offered to Masvidal? Found out it did. Why wasn't this fight offered to Edwards? Found out it did. Where else are you going to go? Do you want to go Usman Covington too? Or you would rather save that for when there's actually, fans in the stands again? Do you want to go Usman McGregor? I mean, is McGregor going to fight? Is he going to unretire a week after he retired? Or not even a week? 6 days after he retired? It's, in my opinion...
That would have been so McGregor and so combat sports.
Retirement. I'm done. I'm taking another fight.
What are retirements? What are those?
Yeah, nothing. They mean nothing when it comes to money. But Gilbert Burns, I mean, he showed that he can, hang with the top guys. Now it's time to prove it. Like, hey, you're the guy. We have nobody else, apparently. And this is no disrespect to Gilbert Burns. You're the cheap one that we can afford. Let's go for it. Because he's the only one that I guarantee you his pay is going to be very, very minuscule compared to what Masvidal would have gotten, McGregor would have gotten, or anybody would have gotten. And that's, a statement to what the UFC is today. They're not paying the fighters. So they rather set up Usman versus Burns, which I'm not going to be mad about watching if I even buy the pay-per-view. I'm not going to be mad about watching it, but there's still something else that we could have seen. That question mark about Usman Masvidal, which was the fight that was, to be made. They still don't want to give Masvidal the money. We get Usman Gilbert Burns. And again, after the performance against Tyron Woodley, he might still be fresh. He didn't take any damage. Woodley barely touched him. 2 seconds of ground control is not going to hurt anybody.
For fifth round is on the 5th round of 10. I am very surprised this is still going on. This has been practically one-way traffic so far for Shakur Stevenson. So let's see if Stevenson's got to put him away in the next 2 rounds. So you can't just sit here and coast to a decision.
No.
You got to put a little bit more pressure. And right now he's just content popping a jab on the outside. He's getting a little more active now, but let's see. And these next 2 rounds are big for Shakur Stevenson because you got to win emphatically here. You have to win by stoppage because this is a guy you should plow over.
I say stoppage.
Right now, look at you going 7th round. He's looking good, but you want to put on a show. You want to get more people to watch you. You gotta amp up the work rate just a little bit here. And you're looking good, but you don't want to look pretty.
Yeah.
Just get in, get out, and be done. You don't get paid by the hour. You don't get paid by the round. You get paid by the fight. Get in, get out, and be done. This was the third best option here. And I don't want to knock Gilbert Burns. And I know we did poo-poo this last week. And I'm not going to try to knock. Actually, I'm going to knock the UFC because you hit it. The UFC, when I said this on Twitter today, I got a little bit of pushback. They went with the least expensive option. The fight should be Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal. Masvidal's the number one contender. I don't care what those stupid rankings say. Those rankings are about as good as the toilet paper in our bathrooms. And I'm even going to 2-ply. I'm not even going to go with the 1-ply. But it's a joke. If you're a true fight fan, don't get me, and this isn't a knock on Gilbert Burns, but we're just going to spit truth and we're going to spit facts. That's the only way I know how to do it. If we're being quite honest, the UFC is being cheap. They don't want to pay Jorge Masvidal. They don't want to pay John Jones. They don't want to pay Henry Cejudo. They don't want to pay Conor McGregor. You got Usman on the cheap. Usman's not a draw. I would pay him about 5 cents. As great as he is, he's not exciting. He does nothing for me. Colby Covington made him somewhat a commodity. That's a testament to Colby Covington and his star power. Yep. Not to Kamaru Usman's star power. Kamaru Usman's got a great story that should be told. And how he got to this point. Because I think the story Kamaru Usman has should be told. But he is his own worst enemy because people find him vanilla. People find as good of a fighter as he is, people find him boring. They don't find him entertaining. Give me people want reasons. You can be the greatest fighter on God's green earth. And we're heading into the 6th round, by the way. And another Shakur Stevenson. 7th round. Oh, my apologies. God, I am so sorry, people.
No. It's the 6th round. We're going to 6th round. I'm calling it 7th round knockout.
How do we foresee here? Skipping rounds here. But if we're just going to call this like we see it and just be brutally honest with ourselves, Gilbert Burns doesn't deserve this opportunity. People want to see Jorge Masvidal and Kamaru Usman. No one. Beyond Gilbert Burns' management team, his training camp, his family, and a small amount of people that he has in Brazil. No one wants to see this fight. And if Kamaru Usman's going to be honest with himself, this is not the fight. If Kamaru Usman's really honest with himself, and he thinks about it when he's laying in his bed at night, he doesn't want this fight. You want big fights. You want the Masvidals. You want the Diazes. You want the Woodleys. You want the McGregors. You want the Covingtons. Gilbert Burns does nothing for Kamaru Usman's pocketbook. He does nothing to raise his profile. Nothing. And it's a dangerous fight he could lose. Because Gilbert Burns is very good. And Gilbert Burns just isn't marketable. Sorry. He's not. This is a very dangerous fight for Kamaru Usman. This is a fight he can really lose. Because Gilbert Burns is dangerous. And the guys that are the most dangerous with their backs against the wall and no one giving them in the world not giving them a chance. Wait a minute, did Shakur Stevenson go down? Oh no, was that
no? He hurt his hand.
Who hurt their hand?
Shakur Stevenson landed a left jab, ended up shaking it, like wincing and shaking it.
Oh, low blow city. That hurts me from right here.
Throwback to Andrew Galata and Riddick Bowe. Twice.
Who's Riddick Bowe? I don't know Riddick Bowe. I know Riddick Bowe. Come on, man.
Right.
But
I'm not great with names, all right?
Did
you gotta always.
Did he get him again? He got him again. WTF. Wait, is the fight over? Is the fight over? I thought it was low. I think the fight is over. The fight is over. I thought it was another low blow. Shakur Stevenson wins. As we're sitting here yakking about Kamaru Usman.
I thought he got disqualified.
Let's see here. That low blow affected him, though. I would have taken my time getting up.
No.
Ohio made a mistake there. This is the end of the fight. If it's not a disqualification, it'd be a big. Let's see what happens here. And then we'll get into the. And we'll skip back to the UFC stuff in a minute. Let's see what happened here. It seems like a Shakur Stevenson win here. From everything, he's getting high-fived and fist bumped, and Caraballo is congratulating him and everything. It seems like it was a stoppage win. Okay. But when you look at the situation of where, let's see what happens here. Here's the highlight. Oh yeah, body shot, knockdown. Okay, clean knockdown. In a situation like that, when you get a low blow that bad, you're allowed time to recover.
You get 5 minutes, don't you?
You got 5 minutes. Caraballo didn't even take, I don't think, a minute. In a situation like that, when you're losing the fight, do you take a timeout? Do you take the full 5 minutes there trying to gain your bearings? Maybe you can't talk to your corner or nothing like that, but just to kind of, you can start kind of thinking, okay, here's what's going wrong. Here's what I got to do. Or are you the fan of, okay, you got hit low, you take maybe a minute or two and you get right back at it? Or do you, in a situation where you're clearly losing the fight, do you take the full 5 minutes?
You take the full 5 minutes. Basically you're getting a 5 minute breather as opposed to the 1 minute that you get between rounds. Like for most boxers that, aren't in the greatest shape in the world, and you mentioned it before, Caraballo had 3 of his last fights with early stoppage. He hasn't been this long in a while. When you're not the most endurance fighter, you take as many seconds, minutes as you can get. 5 minutes after a low blow, that's a godsend. That's a penalty against, Stevenson. He's giving you 5 minutes to, compose yourself, get back, because every gentleman that's seen this podcast or will see this podcast, let's face it, you got hit in the nuts. You're not going to be good for the next 5-10 minutes.
It wasn't that he got hit, man. He got hard. 131 of the 6th round.
Yeah. You get hit in the nuts. You need more than 5 minutes. But when you get 5 minutes in a boxing match, especially against somebody like Shakur Stevenson, you take it. There's no momentum here. He had all the momentum in the fight. Caraballo should have just taken the full 5 minutes. He's like, all right, I'm ready to go. I got no momentum here, so just take your time, get ready to go. And then once you're focused again, once you got your feet back under you, you go at it again. You could have saved this round and gone to the 7th round again and make my prediction come true and get knocked out in the 7th.
No, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's the end of my point.
No, I agree with you. You take the full MMA boxing. You take the full 5 minutes, and I agree with you because you don't know. Take your time. Then you get to the 7th round. You can survive 90 seconds. Survive that a little less. It was 131, so a little less than 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Get into the 7th round, and you don't know what happens. You can land that shot. One shot in boxing, in combat sports, one shot changes everything. And maybe he still doesn't win, but at least you go out giving it 100%. And Caraballo wasn't 100% going into the fight. And it's not blaming Shakur Stevenson. He didn't do it on purpose.
No,
it's just a matter of it was not an unintentional foul. It happens. There's low blows all the time in combat sports. It happens. It wasn't intentional. I just would have taken the full 5 minutes. But you give Stevenson credit. He pounced on the opportunity. He knew Caraballo wasn't 100%, went to work, landed a couple good right hand, and then a hard left to the body, and then the stoppage happened. Call it a day, and Shakur Stevenson goes to 14-0. Eight of those 14 wins by stoppage, and a successful debut at 130 pounds, and hopefully we can see him later this year, him and Josh Warrington, to determine who is the best at 126 pounds. But if not, and this is the way you debut at 130, okay, I'm down for that because you got some killers at 130. You got Perchelt. Tank Davis can still go down to 130. Lomachenko's talking about going back down to 130. Got Andrew Cancio, who's now a part of Top Rank. He fights in a couple weeks, so you got some interesting things going on. A lot of Leo Santa Cruz.
Man, did we just lose you again? And we lost Steve for momentarily. Connection issues, technical difficulties, whatever the case may be. But yeah, he was saying Leo Santa Cruz and 130. Stevenson has a lot of potential, rivals that he can go ahead and, go up next. Or he can stay at 126 and go against Josh Warrington, which is, in my opinion, the fight to make. Like, you win against Josh Warrington, then you can move up, prove that you're the best at 126. So as there's that doubt, not a lot of room to move there. But at 130, Lomachenko. You got Leo Santa Cruz, who's still relevant. There's a lot of contenders in the 130 division that can give Shakur Stevenson a run for his money. And that's something I like to see, especially as a fight fan. I want to see fights. I don't want to see him ducking fighters like, a Gervonta Davis or like a Mayweather. I know I'm calling them out, but it's the truth. And then fight any good fights in the prime. You can call me out on that all you want. I don't care. But essentially, yes, Steve's computer froze, so he's going to be back in a little bit. But a good night of fights. Jared Anderson getting the win by knockout. Shakur Stevenson getting the win himself by knockout in the 6th. Run short of what I predicted, but he's getting knocked out. A good debut in the 130. He was a little more passive than he usually is, aggressive. I would have been a little more aggressive, establishing, your name with authority in the 130 division. But after the low blow, he gets a body shot in, knocks out Caraballo, wins by 6-round stoppage. Shakur Stevenson, again, 130. If that's where he wants to stay, I think he's going to benefit from that. He'll fight, guys like Leo Santa Cruz, Lomachenko, Tank Davis can still come down to 130. That's a rivalry and a fight that people do want to see. And Top Rank, like I said, this wasn't the biggest card, and I'll get into the reaction of the card and everything. This wasn't the biggest card in the world. It wasn't like a pay-per-view card, but it was a card that was entertaining for fans to watch. Like, boxing is back. Shakur Stevenson being the first headliner makes it a little, makes it good, because Shakur Stevenson is an up-and-coming superstar in the boxing game. He's 14-0. He's 22 years old. He's got a lot to prove, and he's got a lot, ahead of him as a fighter. He's got a lot, like a bright future in the game. And Jared Anderson just looked dominant. Like Steve was saying, he looked like he was fighting like a veteran, going to the body, and then finally getting that opening that he was looking for. Boom, knocks out his guy. I think it was the 3rd round. I came in a little late on that one, but Shakur, again, for those just joining us, follow the page. You shared it. A couple people shared it. Thank you for that. Like the video. Don't only like the video, like the page. Subscribe. Follow on Twitter at Walkway Fight. Instagram, Walkway to Fight Club. All lowercase. We're posting news as we go for wrestling, MMA, and boxing. Follow the page on Facebook as well. Don't only like the video. Like the page as well. Like it all. Share it with your friends. We are at 986 likes. Let's get to 1,000. 986 or 14 away. Almost there. On Twitter, you can follow me right here. Where it says right. It's a little reverse. But yeah, DY would equal 21. You can follow me on Twitter there. I retweet a lot of boxing stuff, so mainly retweets, but I'm not much of a Twitter. I'm more Instagram. I do post everything. The Walkway to Fight Club, all lower caps on Instagram. We announced the Fight Island today. Usman versus Burns. Holloway versus Volkanovski 2 for the featherweight title. You also have Peter Yan against Jose Aldo. Apparently it's Jose, not Jose. You also have Paige Van Sant going up against Ribas, and Rose Namajunas going up against Jessica Andrade for the 2nd time. That's another fight that Steve didn't mention earlier, but it's a fight I'm looking forward to, as both women, Andrade and Namajunas, are badasses. that's going to be a fun fight to watch. And it's a fun card. Don't necessarily need the Fight Island thing, but it adds a little more, intrigue. You kind of want to see what it looks like. I personally do. And it's going to be it's going to be a good card. Got to see how much you're going to charge for it. I know they charge for $250 for like $85 for that card, which was ridiculous. But like I said, at $251, those people that commented, thank you. Andrew Hensel, thank you for the nickname Sugar Steve Muehlhausen. Not going to let him live that down. Sam Diaz, thank you for watching. Kaiser Muehlhausen, thank you for watching. Tyler Moneybag McNeil, your boy won. Jared Anderson, baby. Knockout in the 3rd round. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like the page, like the video, share. And then as we do, watch alongs, we do podcasts every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. After wrestling shows, we talk UFC, boxing, wrestling. If you're not a fan of one of those two, or because you don't know much about it, stay tuned. We'll teach you a few things. If you already know, you think you know more than us, by all means, comment section is active. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, we'll answer them. It doesn't matter what kind of questions it could be: baseball, boxing, MMA, football, whatever you guys want to talk about. We're more than happy to answer your questions. UFC Top Rank Boxing returning on Thursday. Again, for another fight. I don't believe we'll be doing a watch long. That's more on Steven. I will not be available, so I'm not going to do that. But it's going to be Magdaleno versus Vicente on Thursday, which should be a good match. Like I said, it's not a superstar card, but you get a diamond in the rough here and there. You get to find boxers that are new, like Jared Anderson. I'm a fan now. Like I want to see where this kid is going to go in the heavyweight division, because I think he can be a contender if he keeps, everything up. Everybody can be a contender starting up. Everybody. It's just a way how their career trajectory goes. Shakur Stevenson got compared to Floyd Money Mayweather all day in the entire card. Do I think he's going to be like Money Mayweather? Hopefully not, because I think he's going to have a lot more opponents to face. But it's going to be an intriguing career to watch. Shakur Stevenson, he's only 22 years old. He's going to be here for a while. Up to God. And, Steve is taking forever. But, yeah, if you guys have any questions, like I said, comment section is open. Like the page, like the video, give us a subscribe, whatever, on YouTube. We are live on YouTube at the Walkway to Fight Club. Give us a subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends, family, enemies, like whoever. Share it even with your dog. And he's back.
No, keep going. I'm listening to the party here.
You're listening to the party? I was just telling people to share it.
Like and share it. Now,
like
my computer technical difficulties as the old computer froze, and we got some bad, nasty weather going on here. So I'm shocked that didn't happen a lot sooner, and I do apologize for that, everybody. And sitting here just watching the end of this broadcast. Very good job, by the way. Tim Riley, Joe Tessitore, Mark Kreigel. Fantastic job by those guys. Three world-class pros in the game of broadcasting. So big props to them. Shakur Stevenson outlanded Felix Caraballo 115-14 in power punches. Shakur Stevenson only got hit 18 times in almost 6 full rounds. GTFHO to Shakur. That is a thing of beauty. Mad props to the one and only Shakur Stevenson. And to see Shakur Stevenson, people are giving Top Rank a lot of flack. I kind of just was gazing social media while I got my computer restarted. And I had a minute to think about it. And I know people are giving Top Rank a lot of flack. And I get it. This wasn't the world's most exciting card. But you also got to remember a couple things. And we've said this throughout since they announced. Are these fights exciting? No. It's good to see Shakur Stevenson, one of the rising stars in the sport. Absolutely 150%.
Yeah.
And, they're not exciting, but you know what, though? This is a massive undertaking. The UFC had an advantage because they had their first few shows in the worst state in the country, the worst commission in the United States. It was just pure ridiculousness in the state of Florida.
Jesus.
I got a funny story we can tell in a minute. And my wife just sent that. Lynn just sent me. This just shows how awesome I am. And I'm going to pat myself on the back in a minute. I usually don't like doing that. Wait, what am I talking about? But it's one of, it was a massive undertaking. The UFC went through a bunch of whistles just to hold these last two shows. And that's a massive, it's a great job by Nevada. Nevada's done an absolutely fantastic job. And mad props to the state of Nevada. And they're really digging in the heels and not letting the UFC get away with absolutely nothing. And Top Rank went through a lot of hoops to put on these shows. And a big props to Bob Arum, Carl Moretti, Evan Korn, Todd DeBuff, the boys at Top Rank. I know those guys. Those guys work extremely hard. Are these cards great? No. I'm not saying they are. But boxing is back. We got to see a rising star, one of boxing's brightest young stars in Shakur Stevenson. And the cards are going to get better. So for everyone who wants to sandbag the card, I get it. But the hoops they went through to get this stuff going, I can't give nothing but mad props to Top Rank. And I'm going to pat myself on the back in a minute. My wife just texted me. I'm normally, and I know everyone's different when it comes to parenting, but when we had Ethan, he was all in. It was like, that was like he followed her. She always put him to bed. And the only time I would ever put him to bed is when she had to go to work. Now with Nathaniel, that's my baby. That is my guy. I love that kid. I love Ethan. Oh my God, that's my first little one. He's always going to hold a special place in my heart. But this one's mine because that kid, he hates because right now I hear him crying and I'm like, oh boy. And Lynn texted me, your kid is spoiled. He is looking for his dada because I always feed him. I get the last feeding every night. I make sure he gets to bed. Dada's not taking you to bed tonight, son. So I'm going to pat myself right on the back for all you single dads out there and you dads killing it. And a high five to you, sir. And I got to brag a little bit here because he's only about to be one, and I've had to deal with almost 4 years of Ethan and Lynn being the tag team. And I finally got someone on my side, Daryl, in this house. My dogs are not on my side. Ethan's not on my side. But I got Nate the Great. So
you got a tag team partner.
He is going to be literally my tag. That's the one that he headbutts already. The old Dynamite Kid headbutt. Loves doing that. The Ric Flair chops already. We're starting young, Daryl. We're starting at less than a year. Oh, dude.
I need him to do the step, the Ric Flair step.
I'm gonna put I'm gonna try to do it within the next day or two of him get a video of him headbutting. It is vicious. And I mean vicious. This kid throws like a mean headbutt. Back to talk about my children, because I can talk about them for hours and days and weeks and years upon at a time. We were talking UFC, and I just I'm looking at this stat, Sports Center's on, and the stat just blows my mind away. 115-14 in power punch advantage. Holy Christ, Shakur Stevenson. That is awesome. Back to the UFC. UFC 251. Gilbert Burns can win this fight. 150%. I agree that he can win. But this is the star business.
No.
This is not an offense on Gilbert Burns, but he was option number 3. No one is going to take this fight seriously. As great as Kamaru is, God bless you.
Thank you.
Sinus problems today?
Yeah.
And they're going around in my house too. They've been kind of funky.
Allergies, man.
Because the weather sucks. And tomorrow's going to be 77. It's and then it's going to be cool for the next week, which is fun. I'm going to save on my my AC bill. Saturday,
60 degrees. I got baseball practice. I'm so excited.
Baseball? Oh, we got to talk about that later. Wow, we'll get into that later in the week. Good for you, kid. I'm old. So us old folks, those days the spikes are in the bat is retired. But
softball.
Nate Diaz came out today and was very critical of the fight. And I got a couple of things. I got notes today. I had time. I got notes upon notes here. Nate Diaz found out. Nate Diaz took to Twitter. And Nate Diaz said, this is what's wrong with people claiming they're fighters settling for less because they know they're not worth bleep. It begins with an S, ends with a T. You should have fought the next guy in line, not the guy who would take less because he's told to. That's why no one will remember you guys. This isn't a title fight. And for good, and then Nate Diaz added, I get paid more than both of you at Reebok. And he made sure to tag Reebok. And then he kept going. Actually, no, I already got that. Usman did respond, and I'll give. I think Usman came back with some good stuff there, but Nate Diaz isn't wrong here. And this goes exactly into what we're talking about. Guys shouldn't settle. The UFC needed Gilbert Burns. To me, world title challengers at minimum should be getting guaranteed $500,000. Minimum. Just depending on your standing in the sport. That is just me, in my honest opinion. And I got a feeling Gilbert Burns isn't going to be getting $500,000. I'm just going with a hunch. I'm thinking this is going to be more in the Felicia Spencer $100,000 to $200,000 range, which I think Gilbert Burns would be shortchanging himself in this situation, and that would be quite unfortunate. Yeah. But Nate Diaz isn't wrong here. Nate Diaz makes a lot of money, so Nate Diaz is going to know he's got a good clue of what these guys are getting paid, and he got paid a ton to return to fight Anthony Pettis. He got paid a ton more to fight Anthony Pettis. Not Anthony Pettis, but Jorge Masvidal for the BMF title at Madison Square Garden at UFC 244, which did extremely well, which was the biggest event of 2019 for the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Nate isn't wrong here. And then Usman signed a new 6-fight contract, which was reported by Steven Morocco from MMA Fighting upon agreeing to fight Gilbert Burns. Then Kamaru Usman responded. I thought this wasn't bad. Usman's Twitter game is solid. Major League Baseball the MLB, the Players Association proposes an 89-game season with full prorated salaries. Playoffs would expand to 16 teams, 8 in each league. Let's see. Hopefully the owners accept and we can get a season going for baseball. Kamaru Usman calls Nate Diaz your burn a double crooked letter. Then he does bullet points. This is kind of fun. L's in 5 of his last 9 in an 8-year span. 4 and 5 in an 8-year span. 12 total losses. 1-1 in the last 4 years. Refused to fight Tyron Woodley when offered a title shot. Said guy, referring here to Jorge Masvidal. 13 L's total. Lost to Damian Maia. Was KO'd in the first round by Gilbert Burns. And embarrassed your bum a double crooked letter. Actually, it was your bum for also Nate Diaz. I'm going to correct the welterweight champion here. He's 2-2 in the last 4 years. One of those wins, though, was over Conor McGregor. Then the loss was to Conor McGregor, which ended up being the second biggest buy rate in the history of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And then the other loss was the biggest fight of 2019 for the UFC. Yeah. So, and then some corrections to Mr. Usman. Everything he says about Masvidal is correct, except for the part he embarrassed him, because I think no one embarrassed no one when they had that square off at the Radio Row during the Super Bowl. this just goes to the situation where this makes me more want to see Kamaru Usman and Nate Diaz or Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal. Is there any way you think somehow, some way, the UFC, Gilbert Burns gets hurt, Jorge Masvidal steps in? Or do you think Gilbert Burns makes it till July 11th, he takes it on a plane to Abu Dhabi to fight at Yas Island?
I still think Gilbert Burns is going to make the fight. I don't think in, a month, the UFC is going to change their stance on paying their athletes and pay Masvidal what he needs to actually go to Abu Dhabi and fight Usman. Unless the backlash that they're going to get, because we said it last night, these 4 fighters are not the only 4 fighters that are going to go up against the machine overpay. There's going to be more. Nate Diaz is starting to show that. I still say Gilbert Burns makes the fight. I don't think he's going to get injured by any means of the word. And I don't think the UFC is going to pay Masvidal enough to have him come to Abu Dhabi and fight Kamaru Usman.
I don't either.
Yeah, I'm sad about it. But I don't think
I'm completely agitated.
Yeah.
Who wins, Burns or Usman?
Usman. Usman by decision. I don't think it's going to be a KO or by any means of the word, submission. Usman wins by decision.
I think Usman wins too. This is the overall better fighter.
Yeah.
Real quickly, Volkanovski, because it was talked about maybe Cejudo and Volkanovski. There was a little bit of a rumbling, but they ended up going with Holloway, the rematch. I'm not a fan of it. There was pure domination by Alexander Volkanovski at UFC 245. That was a beating from the jump. It was domination for 25 minutes from the reigning defending UFC featherweight champion, the man from Australia, the former rugby player who used to weigh 240 pounds. God bless you. To get down to 145. God bless him. This fight, I can't defend, and I love Max. I think Max Holloway is great. But Max Holloway has lost 2 of his last 3. He's lost back-to-back fight. 2 of his last 3. I would have gone another route here. This isn't like the lifetime. It wasn't like Holloway went on this dynamic run of title defenses to warrant a rematch. Okay, he beat Aldo. I'm not taking nothing away. You beat the greatest featherweight of all time, Jose Aldo, and you blasted him twice. I was live for the second beating. It was a beatdown of epic proportions and a beautiful performance by Max Holloway. When you're not, this wasn't a 4, a 5, a 6. This wasn't like a long title reign like Demetrius Johnson, John Jones, George St. Pierre. It was Anderson Silva. It wasn't close. Not even Tyron Woodley. I would have gone a different route here. I'm not a fan of this move in the slightest bit.
I mean, they did it based on namesake alone. Like you said, Max Holloway, he got dominated for 5 rounds. And he has the name. That's it. That's the only thing. At this point, what the UFC is trying to do is get as many names. You already booked Usman versus Gilbert Burns. That's not going to draw a lot of names. So now you need the big names. Like Max Holloway is a known name for common fight fans. You put him up against Volkanovski, which I don't think the result's going to be any different. But you put him up, you draw a little more viewers. And whether that's, perfect or not, it's not. I would have liked to see Volkanovski against somebody else. Even a Henry Cejudo. Would have loved to see that.
Look at you and Cejudo. Wow.
I would have loved to see Cejudo.
If it wasn't Cejudo, I would have liked to see the Korean zombie Chan Sung Jung. Would have loved. That would have been all mess of fun. Zombie's a draw.
Yep.
Cejudo's a draw. I think either of those guys, I would have been down for the cause. don't know what the UFC was thinking in this situation where, we're going to go. I just don't.
I want to see what Holloway's purse is.
Holloway makes a good chunk. Maybe he's going to get a good chunk here. He's probably, in this situation, he's probably 500,000-600,000 guaranteed. I think he's right at that mark. He's a challenger, even former champion, and he's not going to take that much of a little bit of a pay bump, a little bit of a downgrade, but it's still 500,000-600,000. And as would the Zombie's a bigger draw. He's proven to be a draw. People love to see him fight. And that's what, he's going to, what you're getting from Chan Sung Jung, a.k.a. the Korean Zombie. You know what you're getting with him. I would have much rather see that.
Yeah.
Another Lifetime Achievement Award is in the third title fight for the vacant bantamweight title. Peter Yan and meets former, when we talked about earlier, Jose Aldo. Yeah. I feel so bad for Aljamain Sterling. Sterling's getting jobbed out here, as they say, in the using a pro wrestling term.
Jobbed out.
Not a fan of this at all. I would have preferred the UFC to go. I don't know why you didn't go with Sterling. Sterling's got the momentum. All those colder than ice. It should be Yan and Sterling. You can make the case Aljamain Sterling's the young crown bantamweight champion. You can legitimately make that case. And I guess it's very hard for me to get excited about that fight. I love Peter Yan. Peter Yan's awesome. He's great. He's a stud.
But Jose Aldo doesn't need to be there.
But these are not the two best. The two best bantamweights in the world are not fighting for the vacant bantamweight title. Sorry. They're not. And we got a lot of people kind of bouncing in and out, kind of fluctuating back and forth. Thank you, everyone that has been watching so far. Shakur Stevenson. We did do a watch along. Shakur Stevenson, 6th round TKO win over Felix Caraballo. Shakur Stevenson moves to 14-0. Successful debut at 130 pounds. Outlanded in power punches. Got outlanded Caraballo 115-14. Shakur Stevenson only absorbed 18 punches in 5.5 rounds. A dominating performance from start to finish. Fantastic fight by Shakur Stevenson. Hopefully we see a fight with him and Josh Warrington for a unification bout at 126 pounds.
Need to see it.
Absolutely. I think if fans are back, I think we get that to happen by the end of the year. Hopefully fans are back. Well, back to the bantamweight picture real quickly, and then we'll get into a little more Dana news, and we'll talk about then we'll end with MLW and DAZN. Stipe Miocic-Daniel Cormer, UFC 252. The rubber match happens. It goes down August the 15th. No location yet. And I think that is very key. The UFC hasn't revealed the location. The plan, they announced a card for August 1st at the Apex, which will be Holly Holm and Irene Aldana in a women's bantamweight main event. That's a great fight, by the way. I'm looking forward to that one. It's always good seeing Holly Holm fight, and Aldana is on a hell of a run. But August 15th, they've announced no location, UFC 252. It kind of seems like, Daryl, that it seems like the date, and I've been asking and no one wants to get back to me. It seems like Cormier Miocic 3 seems like that'll be the first attempt for the UFC to have fans. That's what it seems like from every indication of not announcing a location and the fact they've been pretty hum about it.
I mean, if there's a fight that you can make that would be the first good fight to have with fans, it's Daniel Cormier's retirement fight. You already announced that he's retiring after this fight. And it's a trilogy of a fight that, everybody thought, oh, Miocic is going to lose to Cormier. Cormier is going to set up with something else. Miocic surprised everybody, won the title. And now it's a rubber match. 1v1. who's going to claim, who's going to be the title holder, who's going to be the best heavyweight of all time, quote unquote, arguably. And why not have Daniel Cormier, because he's had a hell of a career. You can't have it as a retirement match with no fans in the stands. That would be in my opinion, that would be the best scenario to bring fans back into the stands, is for Cormier's retirement fight.
You think this is it? You think this is it for Daniel Cormier? He says it is. He did an interview with ESPN today saying this will be it. So you're believing Daniel Cormier here to where he's saying, I'm going to be done. This is going to be the end.
He's been getting comfortable in that commentator's chair for a while now. I think he's gotten a lot of beatings in his lifetime at this point in his career. It's hard for a fighter to get out of the ring permanently. It is. I wouldn't be shocked if out of nowhere in next year we get, hey, I'm back. I'm unretiring. I'm fighting so-and-so for the heavyweight title again. But honestly, after the last couple fights, he lost to Miocic. He got those 2 beatings from Jones. Whether they were cheating or not, they were beatings. He was concussed in the middle of an interview. He couldn't, he was gone. A human body can only take so much. And I actually believe him this time that he would retire. And like I said, he's getting comfortable in that commentator's chair. He's getting comfortable. He's doing a great job. He's a company guy. He has a job for good. So I think this is it for Cormier.
No, I don't think it's it. I don't believe you at all. No offense. I don't. If he wins, that Jones fight is there. Jones Cormier 3 for the heavyweight championship of the world. I don't believe Daniel Cormier for 1 iota, not even a tenth of a second. If he is offered John Jones to right the wrong, a clean John Jones, Cormier, just a competitor in Daniel Cormier, he'd be like, you know what? Clean versus clean. I know I can win. And the money will be gigantic. If Daniel Cormier wins, and I think he will, I think he beats Stipe Miocic. I think he wasn't listening to it. They didn't follow the game plan at all. Follows the game plan, Daniel Cormier wins that rematch. And he was winning pretty handedly with not even listening to his corner. And then he just got sloppy. Miocic adjusted his game plan. Then to hit Stipe's credit, Stipe took control and Stipe won the fight and regained the heavyweight and became a 2-time heavyweight champion. But if Daniel Cormier beats Stipe Miocic August the 15th, he will say, oh, yeah, right now Daniel Cormier is entrenched in his mind. I'm retired. I'm going to retire. This is it. I'm going to give it my all in training. This is going to be it. But when you got 8 figures, come be like, you know what? I'm going to give you an 8-figure offer to fight Johnny Bones for the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. You get a chance to right the wrong. You cannot tell me Daniel Cormier will not take that fight. He's an 2-time Olympian. He's got the heart of a champion, 2-time light heavyweight champion. He would be a 2-time heavyweight champion. And he's lost twice to John Jones. There's only two of his 3 losses. Guys like that want to avenge that. We will see if he wins. We will get Cormier Jones 3. Now, if he loses, he's retiring. I will agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
That'll be it. But if he wins, DC will win.
So
DC will fight John Jones. Who do you think wins? Because I already said Cormier wins. Just looking at it now, we won't. Maybe my mind will change by the time we get in. By the time we get, that's 9 weeks away. As of right now, who wins?
Miocic.
Wow, you're going Stipe Miocic.
Wow. Going Stipe.
Wow. Okay. All right. When we break that fight down more in about 9 weeks, we'll see if I can change your mind on that one. Now, I want to give the rest of the UFC did announce, though. My poor Lynn, she made my little guy cry it out. Made that poor baby cry. How dare her? Nah, I'm kidding. You gotta let babies cry it out. Okay. For the July 16th fight night card in Yas Island in Abu Dhabi. The only fight announced for that is Carla Esparza against Marina Rodriguez. That's an awesome ass fight too. At women's strawweight. Ooh, that's a sexy matchup. Okay. For Saturday, July the 18th, for the rematch for the vacant flyweight title, Davison Figueroa against Joseph Benavidez.
That's going to be a good fight.
The fight they fought early. They fought at the end of February. Figueroa missed weight. It became Benavidez was the only one that could win the title. Benavidez made a bad error in judgment and in a very close fight. Figueroa won by stoppage. And then an awesome fight at middleweight. 2 top-ranked middleweights. I want to get their rankings correctly because I do not want to. I want to do these guys justice because this fight is awesome at middleweight. Number 6, Jack Hermanson against number 7 and former middleweight title challenger Kelvin Gastelum. That fight is going to be off the heezy for sheezy. It's going to make my arms so greasy. Yes, I can rap. And I'm half white, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go. I got to announce that on the Instagram. Send me that.
I don't think I could do that again. Hey, you could save and download. You could download the video and just find the clip. You can do it that way.
That's true.
And then July 25th, the final card in Abu Dhabi, headlined by Darren Till. Hold on. I get the rankings right. I always want to do these guys justice. Former middleweight champion and number 1 ranked middleweight Robert Whittaker takes on number 4, tied for 4th ranked middleweight. I don't get that. And there until former welterweight title challenger, co-main event, former light heavyweight champion, and number 15 ranked contender Mauricio Shogun Hua against Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira. And then I love this fight. Former heavyweight champion and give me 1 second. And because I want to, this fight's awesome, so I want to do it right here. Number 14, former heavyweight champion and the guy that give the first official loss in his MMA career to Fedor Emelianenko, Fabricio Verdum, takes on former 2-time light heavyweight challenger, making his heavyweight debut, Alexander Gustafsson. Some good fights. That July 25th card is freaking awesome. I don't mind seeing Shogun. I always love seeing Shogun who fight. Look, trying to keep going with the Fountain of Youth, extend his winning streak. Him and Nogueira meeting again, fought in Pride back in the day. Gustafsson and Verdum. Gustafsson coming out of retirement after suffering a vicious knockout loss to Anthony Smith last June in his hometown of Stockholm, Sweden. That's an intriguing fight. I like that one. And Till and Whittaker. That would be a no pants nation. I may take off the pants for Till and Whittaker. Oh man, that is same thing with Gastelum and Hermanson. That's another stud fight where you can. That may be a red panty night. Bust out the red panties, baby.
Break out the red panties.
One of the funniest line ever when Conor McGregor said that at the hot field. Tell your wife, break out the red panties, baby. I'm fighting Conor McGregor. I'm gonna make the most money I've ever made in my entire life. I love these watch-alongs. We're just having fun here. We're almost 2 hours in. Shakur State, people are coming in, popping in and out here. We're near the top of the hour. We're nearing 11 Eastern here and 10 Central and 8 Pacific. We're doing a watch-along, and the boxing is back. Shakur Stevenson with a 6th-round TKO win over Felix Caraballo. Stevenson landed 115 power punches to only 14 for Caraballo. Caraballo only landed 18 punches. Stevenson goes to 14-0, 8 wins via stoppage, and a successful debut at 130 pounds for the current WBO 126-pound champion. Boxing is back after over right around the 3-month layoff. And Top Rank will be back on Thursday night, so it'll be good to see some more boxing on Thursday night. Talking a little UFC here. If you guys want to leave any questions, any comments, leave them in the chat. We will answer them all. We got a decent amount here, so we're just talking UFC here. And Did you see by any chance Dana White's little confrontation today with Dominique Foxworth on First Take?
I did not know.
Okay, we'll talk about that tomorrow. I want you to watch that. I want your thoughts on that because I'll shelve that for tomorrow. So one more thing I wanted to get into that was MMA. Dana White said he offered Conor McGregor, Tony Ferguson to step in to face Khabib Nurmagomedov at UFC 249. I have it in my notes here. Okay, I got it right here. When Dana was on First Take today, he said, let's see. He goes, he wants to fight Gaethje. Gaethje just won to get the fight with Khabib. He just beat Tony Ferguson. Conor had the opportunity to slide into that spot if Khabib or Tony fell out. He came back and said, I'm not a replacement fighter. I'm not going to do it. White continues to say he would be in that position now if he took the fight. He didn't. Gaethje did, so Gaethje gets it. White still feels McGregor's best option was sitting and waiting to face the winner of Nurmagomedov versus Gaethje, which I have learned. Combate, me and you talked about it a little bit. Combate first reported, I have confirmed that. And the UFC is highly likely, from what I was told, that Khabib Nurmagomedov will face Justin Gaethje in September at a site to be determined. It may be Abu Dhabi. It may be in the United States. So that is to be determined, but there will be a title unification bout to determine an undisputed lightweight champion. So that fight is highly likely to take place in September, and that would be UFC 243. Now,
253.
My apologies. I agree with McGregor. It's your biggest star. McGregor's done the UFC a lot of favors. And stepping in short notice, accepting guys on short and to take short. Look at what he did. He took on Nate Diaz on short notice. Took on Chad Mendes on short notice when Jose Aldo fell out. The first time when Rafael Dos Anjos stepped out. Conor McGregor's taken a lot of risk. And this just shows more why fighters are getting irritated. Because it's like they've scratched the UFC's back. This is your biggest star. Conor McGregor is right. He's not a replacement fighter because he's Conor McGregor. He's earned that. Like it or not, it is totally irrelevant. Conor McGregor has earned the right to not have to bend the knee and cower to the UFC. If you were Conor McGregor, would you have taken that fight, Daryl? Or do you think he's right in saying, you know what, why can't I fight Justin Gaethje, which is something that we had been actively discussing? That was a fight I was highly interested in. Or do you feel McGregor should have to toe the line like everybody else and do what they're told?
No, he should have gotten the fight with Gaethje in the first place. He's not a replacement fighter. He's Conor fucking McGregor. I'm sorry for cursing, but at the same time, it's like
he's potty mouth. That affects our YouTube ratings. Come on now, watch the potty mouth.
My bad.
That's okay. I'll let you slide.
YouTube, my fault. But Conor McGregor is your top star. He's he's your top prize fighter. He's not a replacement guy. And fans can see that when you slide in, oh, hey, it's Khabib versus Ferguson. I don't know where Khabib can't make it. Hey, we got Conor. That's not something you do with Conor. You give Conor time. You announce it. You say, hey, Conor, we're announcing you and Gaethje for 2 months in advance. You give it time to breathe. You give it time so you can market it. He's your most marketable superstar that you have right now because that guy can talk to levels that nobody else can talk. You put him in a press conference, he's going to give you entertainment. He's going to give you views. You need to give him time to actually market the fight and to maximize your viewership that you would have in the UFC. Conor McGregor is not a late substitution. He's not. You give him time. You announce the fight properly. You say, hey, it's going to be Conor. It's going to be Gaethje, 249. He's not stepping in for anybody. This is what we got. Boom. Go. At that point, when you announce it that way, now you got a fight. Now you got a marketable fight. And now you got something that fans are going to want to watch at the same time. But McGregor did what he should have done. He should have told Dana, stick it. I'm not a replacement fighter. It's plain and simple. Because he's not.
I'm going to check here and see if Conor McGregor has even responded. Because we've seen fighters respond to Dana White pretty quickly. So let's take a look at. Well, I'll take a look at the old Twitter machine here, and we'll see if. No, Conor McGregor has not responded.
That's surprising.
No. No, not at all. No, he hasn't responded. He's not. You should be wanting to appease your biggest. I'm not saying hand him the keys to the kingdom, but in situations like this, God, market your biggest draw, your most bankable star. This whole situation, they keep blaming the pandemic. Oh, and they're losing around. They're going to be losing. They're losing money on the gate. I'm not going to try to kid anybody here. They're losing some money, and that they could be gaining more money. They're just not getting that gate revenue. They're still going to get $750 million this year in TV revenue, and the fighters are only getting about 18%. Just do the damn math, people. This isn't like rocket science. This isn't rocket science whatsoever. People need to get on the ball here and understand. People can make. I know people are giving McGregor a hard time. Oh, he's retiring again, and no one's believing it. I'm not believing it. You're not believing it. No one's believing he's. We both think he's going to fight this year. We both do. We think he's going to, out of him and Masvidal, Jones, and Cejudo, he's going to be the one to fight first. And I think we both think so. He's getting a lot of flack, but he's the leader of the pack here. And fighters are seeing this. More fighters are talking about this on Twitter. And I know Daniel Cormier said, you know what, fighters need to, have these conversations in private. No, you got to have these conversations because the world needs to know what's going on. This isn't like a big, dirty secret. Look what's going on in baseball. There may be no baseball. Think about that not hot thing for a second. The players are digging in their heels. They've already taken a pay cut when they really didn't have to take one to begin with. Then you're going to tell me you got to take another one? Not a chance. And this is what these fighters are tired of getting kicked to the ground. They're tired of getting abused and treated like dogs in the night. Good on Conor McGregor. Good on John Jones. Good on Jorge Masvidal. Good on Henry Cejudo. Good on Sugar Sean O'Malley. I'll let Sean O'Malley take my name, by the way. I will loan him Sugar. That's right, Sean O'Malley. You heard me. I haven't talked to Sean in a while, and I'm going to tell him the next time I talk to him, me and you have the same nickname, but I will let you carry the name because you're actively fighting. You got the hands of steel, and I got the hands of pillows. Please
let me be on the phone when this happens. I want to see what he says.
Hopefully talk to O'Malley soon. Hopefully there'll be good news on the horizon on that end soon. Hopefully. But no, it's a situation where the fighters deserve everything they get. Hopefully they do get it. And Conor McGregor is the farthest. Gilbert Burns, and I don't want to keep, but this situation is perfect for what we're talking. Gilbert Burns is the replacement guy. Still, and I'm not taking out. Gilbert Burns is great. He's really good. But any guy that gets into the octagon or the cage or puts on the boxing gloves, they're great. Regardless of what your record is, you're great. In my eyes. I respect everyone that writes about and covers. There's a step in that ring or cage. You have my respect forever. But Gilbert Burns is the replacement guy here. He is the third replacement. And he's probably not. He's probably getting paid like a replacement. Conor McGregor is not a replacement. Nope. And we will end with this. We'll end with pro wrestling. Because there was some news today I sent to you. And
big news
in the world of pro wrestling. And for all of you morons out there who thought DAZN was dead, and I will say morons, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow. So I got some things to say to people that thought DAZN was dead. But for all you morons, idiots out there who thought DAZN was dead, DAZN is not dead. DAZN's not going anywhere. Why? Because I do know. And DAZN made that pretty clear today when them and MLW announced they agreed to a deal. MLW will be on DAZN. When MLW gets back, they'll be airing their shows. They'll be getting the content in their library. MLW will still be on beIN Sports, but now you'll be able to stream, and it's not in many homes. It's only in around, it's only between like 25 and 30 million homes. It's actually their Spanish channel is more popular than their English channel. They have like beIN Sports has an English channel and a Spanish channel. The Spanish channel is widely popular, and Lucha Libre is insanely popular.
Especially with the talent share they have with AAA, because I know LA Park is a big name in MLW.
So MLW has agreed to a deal with DAZN. This had been rumored about for a while. MLW had been talking with DAZN, and MLW had been talking with Showtime. And I had been led to believe that the talks with DAZN had broken down, and they were going to go with Showtime. That's what I had been told. And DAZN got them, and the talks started ramping back up within the last like 6 weeks. And DAZN needs content because right now there's no live sports. And what is DAZN? A live sports subscription streaming service. So, and this the one thing that had been lacking from the DAZN portfolio, specifically in the United States, had been pro wrestling. Because out in like for their Japan service, they've had WWE. They're on right now in Germany on DAZN. And they've been airing, they have a international deal with MLW to air, like I forget the countries that DAZN is airing MLW in, but now the United States has pro wrestling, will be on DAZN. I think it's great news for not only, I think this is great news for DAZN, obviously, and then for all the haters out there that want to say they're dead, which they're not. And now there's pro wrestling, and I think that's going to bring more people to the streaming service. I think this is great news all around for everybody. MLW is going to get a little more money, so they can go sign more top tier talent, and DAZN's going to get a good kickback too, because it's getting pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is an extremely popular niche, and you're going to get fans from Mexico, from all the Hispanic countries. And the base here in the United States is going to subscribe to DAZN. So I think this is a win-win all around for everybody.
Oh, definitely. Especially MLW was one of those companies that's like they had the product, they had the talent, they have the setup. They just needed the platform. beIN Sports, with all due respect, it's not that big here in the U.S. And I've been to a live event for MLW. I went to see Jacob Fatu versus LA Park in a street fight. It's awesome. That needed that platform, and DAZN provides that, and it's going to elevate MLW to, not only get more money to sign more talent, but it's also going to give them that exposure that they needed to get over the hump, maybe even be that third, fourth wrestling company behind AEW and WWE to go over Impact, to go over, and New Japan is hard, but you can go over New Japan here in the United States because you don't get that much exposure to it. It's basically giving them that platform to go above and beyond for what they currently have. And I give kudos to Kurt Bauer and MLW for making this move. And
Kurt Bauer, don't bash Kurt. People used to call him Kurt too, and he got very mad at me the first time.
It's the accent.
I called him on accent, and when he went to break, I went to a commercial break, and he goes, "It's Steve, it's Court." I'm like, "I have Court right here. Why am I calling you Kurt?" I didn't want to correct you like that, but I know Court listens, and I know Court gets mad. So
tell Court, it's the accent. My accent makes it sound like Kurt. It's Court, and I know it's Court. Because I've tagged him on Instagram all this week with all the news that he's signing people and all this stuff.
No, the MLW is fantastic.
Yeah. All the stuff that they're doing, the roster, the building and everything, they just needed the platform. Good for them. I'm excited to see what they're going to pull off from now on.
I got a little more updates for you guys on this deal. And stuff is already on there. So they have, I have in my notes here. Let me just scroll through my notes here. Several episodes of Fusion and the recent Opera Cup event is live on the streaming service. They will be on weekly. future live shows will also be airing on DAZN. It's going to be all their streaming content, like old archive matches, will also be going on there from when they had that like 3-year run in the early 2000s. So all that stuff will be on there. All the stuff they've been doing will be on there as well. They'll continue to be on beIN Sports every Saturday, and the shows will also air on YouTube for the time being. Yeah, but this is, and their schedule, their TV, there is a TV. There's no idea when they're going to be airing. They have a scheduled event, a live taping for October in Dallas. I don't know if, this is what I'm trying to find out, if they're going to start airing shows beforehand. I would have to assume they are, or I don't think this deal happens right and it is announced right now. I have to think within the next 6 to 8 weeks, I think MLW will be airing a live event. I would have to think. I have to think that's part of the agreement here, is to start airing live content. And airing live content very soon. So it will be interesting to see. This is great for DAZN. This is great for MLW. This is great for pro wrestling. All I know, it's about multiple-year deal. I don't know the money deal aspect of it, but I know it's a multi-year deal. Okay. So that's about all I know on that to this point. I did ask around today. I did talk to some people at DAZN, and that was the indication I was given. I wasn't given a money figure, but I was led to believe it is a multi-year deal. So it's good for all ends today. I think it's a great day for wrestling. It's a great time for DAZN because they need live content, and it is very good for MLW and pro wrestling in general. And I wanted to see what else. I'm trying to see what else, if there's any. Let's see. Let's see. PW Insider reports they also had discussions with ESPN, which I did not know. And that's from Mike Johnson from PW Insider. I'd only heard Showtime in DAZN. Okay. Let's see. Talks with that slowed when they agreed to a deal with WWE to air the WrestleMania shows. PW Insider reports that the DAZN deal would not mean the end of MLW pursuing additional cable deals, whether that be ESPN or elsewhere.
Okay. So essentially, they're making big moves at this point, not just DAZN.
Yeah. I would be shocked if they went with a major television deal. If it's out there, yeah, you take it. And you figure out a way to put events on DAZN, and I think you just figure it out. But time will tell on that. And I've reached out to Court Power, and hopefully Court will. He's not answering to nobody right now, so I think they want to. He's been talking about a big move. I would assume this is the big move. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but we will wait and see. But it's a great time for wrestling. Hopefully Court Power will get back to us, and hopefully we can get something with Court here, even if it's just a comment. Because WWE had been talking with DAZN, and then everything happened with COVID-19, and then the talks kind of went to the wayside. So we'll see what happens. But it's the first pro wrestling deal on DAZN. So now DAZN has pro wrestling, MMA, and boxing. MMA, they have Bellator and KSW, the big European promotion based in Poland, and also have Matchroom Boxing, Golden Boy, the World Boxing Super Series. So a great time. Hopefully this will get people back on training on DAZN. And for all you haters out there and you idiots and morons out there, DAZN is not dead.
It's alive and well.
I see you laughing because it's just so it's so irritating because you've seen this all on social media with everyone's like, they're dead. They're dead. The DAZN era is over. Furloughing all these people. And laying off people. I was one of those layoffs. If anyone's got a gripe to be ticked out about with DAZN, it's me. But I'm not. I get what's going on right now. The world is in a horrific place. It's starting. You can see like the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's like you could sit and kick and scream and get ticked off about it. And boxing's like combat sports is so weird, where you want to see you want to see other people fail. I don't understand this. Why would you want to see others fail? The more people, more places, more companies succeed, the better off everybody is. You don't want to see no one fail. It just seems like everyone wants to like kick you and stomp on you and be like, ha 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 ha. We knew you suck, and we're gonna spit on you and kick you and throw dirt on you and sand and pour the cement truck on you and bury you and call it a day. And get the shovel and start digging. Why is it just boggles my mind, that we always see this with combat sports, whether it's fight organizations or a lot of people were glad when HBO went out of business, which I thought was still bad for boxing. Yeah, it led to the DAZN and blah, blah, and so on and so forth. But HBO would have been still very good for the landscape. There's always enough room for everybody. God, just imagine if you could get HBO, ESPN, Showtime, and DAZN. It's more places for fighters to apply their craft.
No superstars.
How is that a bad thing? Why?
Because for everything, people want to choose a side for everything. They can never just enjoy both things. They always have to choose a side. It's like NXT and AEW. You can't enjoy them both, apparently. You got to choose one or the other.
That's another head scratcher.
No. Because I love them both. What? Both of them are awesome.
We can enjoy both. You can like the chocolate cake and you can like the vanilla cake. You don't have to pick one. You can throw an added strawberry cake. I don't get what like this big deal is of like we have to pick sides and you can't like the other side. It would be it's like the jilted lover. You shouldn't cheat on your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, or whatever. That's the only instance where you can't have two pieces of cake. But when it comes to like liking sports and sports organizations and sports entities, you want everyone to succeed because then more athletes get a chance to apply their craft. At the end of the day, that is not a bad thing. And we will end with that. I want to thank everyone. This has been fun. 2 hours, under 2.5 hours. We want to thank everybody for chiming in, jumping in. This has been fun. We're going to do more of these, I promise. We were going to do Sunday, but I found out my wife has to work for Backlash. So I will say that now. So I was like, whoa, crap. You got to go back to work. Oh, got to watch those dang kids. If anyone wants to volunteer their babysitting services, let me know before Sunday.
On the comment section right below.
No, I'm just kidding. They're awesome. But we will do a Backlash recap show. I do promise we will have a recap of Backlash because I will actually watch the show. Even though they'll probably put me to sleep, we will definitely be watching.
Same.
But we will have a podcast tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern, and 7:30 Pacific. We will be recapping AEW. We will be recapping NXT and everything going on in the glorious world of professional wrestling, boxing, and mixed martial arts. We will have an archived interview I did recently. I'm not going to say who it is. It's up on all I will say, and I'll tell Daryl after the podcast because Daryl has to know. But all I will say is it's with the current world heavyweight champion of a pro wrestling organization. And it's already been, the audio was already on our iTunes, Google Play, not Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and all your favorite podcasting platforms. I just wanted to put it up on the YouTube page because I think it's a fantastic interview. It's been one of my favorite interviews I've done in a very long time. It was just a ton of fun in the time. I wish it could have went a lot longer than it did. And it's about 25 minutes. So it's a very, very good interview.
I know exactly who it is.
Don't ruin it now. I'll tell you when we're done.
I'm not.
Well, I will have that up tomorrow. hopefully by midday tomorrow that will be up. So that'll be up for consumption for people, because that did pretty well, but I think it'll do very well on YouTube as well. And I think it'll do very well for us in general. But I want to thank everyone that listened to our first boxing watch along. It was pretty fun. Shakur Stevenson, 6-round TKO victory. Daryl, I'm surprised you're in a good mood, because the native of Puerto Rico, Felix Carballo, he led everybody down. He lost.
It's something
you should be sad.
You'd
be sad.
I am on the inside. Hey, you said gotta keep it professional, man.
Now, is this when we get off, you get a tissue and cry and drink it out? Or do you just...
I already did.
Drink it out. I love it. Drink Modelo.
I already drank it out.
I like it. But no, thank you for everyone for listening. Thank you for leaving comments. You can find us on Facebook. For ones watching on Facebook, you can watch on facebook.com/The Walkway to Fight Club. Like the page, like the post, like the page, follow us as well. If you watch via YouTube, or you want to find the YouTube page, youtube.com/The Walkway to Fight Club. Subscribe to the page. A lot of cool stuff and a cool thing coming up tomorrow. And you can find, we already said the podcasting platforms. You can find us on Twitter @Walkway Fight, and you can find us on Instagram, Walkway to Fight Club, all in lowercase letters. Daryl, where can the beautiful fans, fight fans of the world, sports wrestling fans of the world, find you on social media?
Right here on Twitter, DY21. On Instagram is Daryl17 Rivera, and then on Facebook, obviously, is Daryl Rivera as listed below. Follow us on the gram. That's where I post most of our stuff. The interview, if it is the one that I think it is, it's a must listen. I will advertise it on the Instagram. Go see it there and give us a follow while you're at it. A lot of updates. MMA, boxing, wrestling. I'm going to try to post as much updates as possible. We announced the New Japan tournament yesterday.
New Japan, I'm so excited. Oh my God, I want to cry.
That tournament looks good. Will Ospreay's not in it, though. Much surprised.
No, I found out why. Because those guys are not in Japan right now. They're only having it for guys that were in Japan. So no Jeff Cobb, no Will Ospreay,
no Jay White,
and no there's one guy.
That explained a lot then.
No Ospreay, no Jay White, no Juice Robinson, and no Jeff Cobb because of that reason. They're right now. I think Ospreay is still in England. Jay is in. Oh God, I think Juice is back here.
Yeah, Juice is over here.
I think Ospreay's in, I think, Australia. And I think Cobb is here too as well. So I think New Japan, if you were in Japan, you were going to be in the New Japan Cup. So that's how they were doing it, which I get. You know, it's just with everything going on right now. Maybe they'll be back at Dominion. I was told that is a possibility. So we will see and wait upon that. So that is good news. But like Daryl said, we're going to pump out some good stuff here. Tomorrow is going to be a good day. I'm looking forward to it. We'll bust everything out, and we'll have an archived interview up with a current world champion in the world of professional wrestling. You can find me on Twitter, and my Twitter got cut. See, it's bad that I'm having a last name. I can't like squeeze that in like you did, Daryl. I am at S Muehlhausen JR, which everyone could see earlier. You can find me on Instagram at S Muehlhausen MMA, and Facebook is just Steven Muehlhausen. If you want to request me as a friend, I will accept, as long as you don't stalk me and my wife. That would be greatly appreciated. But thank you to everyone that watched tonight, whether it was on Facebook, whether it was on YouTube, on a computer, on your tablet, or on your mobile device. So thank you so much. It is really greatly appreciated to me. Or you watched it on your TV. So apparently you can watch this stuff on your TV now, so that's kind of cool. So thank you to everyone for watching, and we will see you tomorrow night at 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central, and 7:30 Pacific. For Daryl Rivera, I am Stipe Miocic-Daniel. You guys have a good rest of the night, and we will see you tomorrow night.